What is good, guys? Welcome to the channel, man. This is our first live stream, and just to introduce myself, my name is Cornelius. I go also as Corn TV on YouTube, and today I have my wife with me.
Hello, guys. I'm Tabitha.
All right. Basically, man, with this live stream that we're doing right now is basically kind of going over the things as far as with Hotshot. More talking about not necessarily just the glitz and the glamour of Hotshot. I know you guys see on my channel that I talk about making over this certain amount of mile, or I made this amount in one day, or I made this in a week or something like that. But going more into detail as far as how to overcome some of the challenges, on the day in and day out, as far as with Hotshot. Some of the things that you would need, some of the necessities that you guys would need. Many people got it misconstrued as far as with Hotshot, just thinking that as soon as you get a truck and a trailer, that's everything that you need as far as getting into the game as far as with Hotshot. So basically, we just got some bullet points that we want to touch on as far as with Hotshot, and we're gonna kind of go through those bullet points, and then also we also have the we have a screen here that's also going to be able to allow us to see like your comments as well. So if you guys have any comments that are up, I know we're starting off late, and actually before we actually even get into it, my apologies to you guys as well. So I set up this live stream earlier today at 7 o'clock, and we dropped the ball as far as having a live stream at 7. There's some people that reached out to me, asking me as far as what happened with the 7 p.m. live stream, and basically my co-host that I actually invited um, is basically a no show. I haven't heard from him, in like a week or so. I've reached out to him, just trying to make touch points with them, and I'm not sure exactly what's going on with him. Like I said, he may have some personal things going on. So I'm not really going to down him or anything like that. Is more than likely he probably got something going on, is what I'm thinking. So as soon as I get word back, I'll let you guys know as far as what happened, and then we'll try to reschedule again to see if we can have it to where he can speak more on the lease on side, because I'm owner operator, he's leased on. So I wanted to give you guys the best of both worlds, pretty much, from an owner operator side and the leased on side. Also, he's CDL, I'm non CDL. So I really wanted him to kind of answer all those questions as far as if it's best for you guys to go leased on, and he can tackle on those questions, and then I can tackle the questions as far as for owner operator. So that's basically what's going on now, and that's the reason why we're doing it so late. So my apologies to you guys. I want to make that back up to you. So in due time, once we work everything out, I'll get back with you guys on that. So now let's go ahead and get into the questions, or let's get into these bullet points that we wanted to get into. All right. So the first thing that we got, and we got notes here, is basically the first thing in getting into Hotshot is you want to make sure that you have capital, and you also want to make sure that you build capital as you are getting it, as you are progressing in this. You want to make sure that you're building capital, and I'm gonna have my wife kind of talk a little bit more about that.
Um, so something we've noticed when starting last year, of course, because we are first timers into the hot shot business, you live and you learn. And one of the key things that we learned in hot shot is having capital. Of course, we bought our truck. Of course, we're still making payments on that. And then with our first trailer as well. And initially, we had, some funds set aside, but then you add on truck payments, trailer payments, insurance, and we're new business owners. So the insurance is ridiculous, especially in the transportation business, because you do have to have a certain amount in order to cover not only yourself, but to cover any other, drivers in case of incidents, but also whatever you're hauling. So, with that, it can get very costly. So, we say to any new hot shotters out there, any new haulers, please make sure you have funds set aside, whether it be to cover few few months of whether it be your bills or whether it be funds that you can tap into when something goes down, like with us, what we experienced was our truck broke down after our first 6 months into working Hotshot. And with that, of course, we had some funds that we had built up. But what happened is literally right after our transmission went down, we ended up in a car accident. So we had issues with our car. We had to wait till that got fixed. We had to visit doctor's appointments and stuff like that. While our transmission was getting ordered and shipped. So it was a long road that we faced and we learned. Um, and now we can say, please make sure you set aside some sort of fund to cover house. Make sure you protect your family, because you don't want to put yourself in a situation where we're putting all our eggs in one basket. And if all our eggs end up getting put somewhere else and our family ends up suffering from it. So that's the first thing, first pointer we wanted to touch bases on.
So I actually have my guest. Actually, he's in the comments. So I told Q stay on right quick, man. I'm gonna go ahead and get these bullet. Let me get these bullet points out first, and then I'm gonna bring you on and kind of switch the stage up a little bit. But stay on Q real quick, man. Let us get through these bullet points, and then I'll bring you on real quick. All right. So the next thing that we have, man, is backup equipment and also savings. Kind of piggybacking off of what my wife said. Let me start off with the savings, and then we'll go into the backup equipment. So, with savings, so with Hotshot, man, there's money in Hotshot, right? There's money in trucking. So, with that, a lot of people have their own different ways as far as with saving. There's different brackets as far as with saving, and what I mean by that is, of course, you just have just savings itself, right? As far as for capital, that's one portion of it that you want to have saved up, especially getting into your first year. Your first year is going to be your hardest year. The reason being is because a lot of brokers are not going to want to work with you. So I would say things probably won't open up. I would say in probably until 6 months, things really won't like open up for you to where you are able to call on loads and have the confidence as far as you're able to book that load, knowing that you call on it and that you're knowing that there's like a 85-90% chance that you're going to be able to book it after that 6 months of authority, right? Um, 3 months you'll start really starting seeing more brokers working with you in 3 months, because a lot of brokers are 90 days, and then a lot of them are going to be 6 months, and then a year and all of that. The way the game is going now, it's more of one person kind of messes it up for everybody. And what I mean by that is that there'll be a person that's working with a particular broker, right? That broker could have been set up to where you could have worked with them in 90 days, right? You write that broker down, and you have that broker written down, and then now you're trying to work from day one all the way up to 90 days. You reach back out to that broker, and now that broker says, hey, I won't work with you until you're a year now. The reason being is because there was an incident possibly with one driver that either lost the load, damaged the load because they didn't tarp it. Numerous of things could have happened to where that broker says, now we're going to up the ante as far as with the authority, and now everybody has to have at least a year. So that's what we're saying now is more and more brokers are starting to go into that 6 month to year mark. We have our brokers that we work with and that we know we have a good rapport with, and we know like when that load comes up, they know we good money and we're gonna be able to get that load. We'll probably get first dibs on the load as well. So they may reach out to us saying, hey, we got a load before we even put it on the load board. They're telling you there's going to be things like that. So when you see it on the load board and all of a sudden you call and it's already booked, just in this seconds, the time that you called on it and this load is already booked, more than likely somebody already got it, but they're just doing their due diligence as far as just putting the load out there, but somebody already got it. So again, so going back to, from saying all of that and going back into the savings part is that you want to make sure, especially first year, that you have capital. And then also within that first year, you want to try to save as much as possible. You may not be able to, really pay yourself, that first year or that first 6 months. You may not really be able to pay yourself. It's really just going into the savings of, so you paying all your overhead, you're paying all your debts, your bills and things of that nature. But money as far as going into your pocket just for, vacation trips and all of that is all of that just need to go to savings. all of that. There's another bracket as far as with savings as well that you want to make sure that you have as far as for repairs. So this is what I've heard when I first started. When I first started my first year, I was hearing drivers telling me, you want to do the 20-20-20 rule or something like that, or 20-10-10 rule. Is that basically there's a portion of every load that's going towards just repairs. So it may be 10% or it may be 20% that you're putting towards just repairs themselves, and then you have your own 20% that's going to other things as well, right? So it may be 10 or 20% for dispatchers, or however you got your business set up. And that's why I always tell people is that you want to have a plan, right? You always want to have a plan before you even get into the business on how you want to structure everything, before you even get into it. So that's another thing as far as for savings, is making sure that you have savings for maintenance, making sure you have savings for capital. You want to make sure that you just have savings as far as for, there's lows that you're going to call on. I know I've done it a couple of times, is that there's lows that I called on. It was a really, really good load. It was paying a lot of money, but then I got so excited that I didn't check to see if they were factorable. And then all of a sudden now, right now, even to this day, we waiting on a check for $700 for a load, man, that we took from Alabama to Georgia. We only did maybe an hour and a half, 2 hour trip, $700. This is where I'm getting at. But I didn't check. I just got, overly excited for the load. I didn't check if they were factorable. Come to find out, we tried to factor the load. The factoring company said, hey, this broker we don't factor with. They're not, we're not able to factor. So, things of that nature, you want to make sure you have money set aside. If that broker is not factorable, that you have that money, because now you're waiting on the check to be mailed out, and then they mail it to the actual, the accurate address, which, right now they sent it to they telling us one thing, they sent it to our factoring company address, then they sent it to our old address that we used to live at. So right now it's a whole hassle, but you want to make sure that you have any little thing, man, that you can, you want to make sure you have money for it. Fuel, you want to make sure you have money for it. You want to make sure you have savings for that. So making sure you save up for fuel. Fuel is going to be your most costly everyday expense. Is fuel. Your biggest expense or biggest overhead is going to be your insurance. So your monthly bill, the biggest one is going to be is your insurance. And the crazy part is that if you average out the mileage for gas, or I mean, if you average the cost for gas at the end of the month and the insurance at the end of the month, more than likely they're going to balance each other out. They're going to be around the same price that you paying for the insurance and as far as for, fuel for every single month. Um, the other bullet point before we go to the next one.
Something else I wanted to share as far as savings, to each its own in hot shotting, but things that we do in order to save is, I know some people pay for a storage space as far as for parking their trailers over the weekend or when they're not on the road. We have sought out secure places where there's cameras, or where there are a lot of trucks that are parking in this area, to where we can leave it free of cost, and it's a safe space for our truck, and if we have a load for our trailer to be at overnight. Um, and of course, we did have an incident where, in the past, when we first started, where somebody tried to steal one of our tires or one of our wheels, and it affected not the load, but it affected our trailer because we had some granite on top of our trailer, and because they removed this tire, that the weight of that granite caused our axles to break. So now here we go. We had to pay for axles. We had to repair the whole wheel and a brand new tire. So that was something we weren't anticipating, because we had parked in this area before. But of course, we were new, and we have to you live and learn. So look for a space that is safe, secure, has cameras, or other trucks are at, to where you feel comfortable enough to where it's free, or if it's at a good value or a good rate, because you do not want to spend so much money on a space that you might be using once or twice out the week. And trust me, people out here are charging over $200, $300 a day for parking spots, which we've seen in our area. So you got to be cognizant of that. Another thing that we do to save money is my husband sleeps in the truck. When he is on a load that's far out, he will spend the night in the truck. And what we've done is we invested in a small mattress and a cushion pillow with put sheets to make it comfortable enough for him, a blanket so that if it gets cold, he doesn't have the truck on idle, it's not on all night, we can save. And of course make sure we have our own protection, so my husband is there in case anything goes down. You can, use the seat belts to strap your doors and lock them in so nobody pulls on your doors at night, stuff like that. Um, so you don't waste on hotels. We did witness at one time, we went to pick up a load, and a new gentleman who's brand new to Hotshot as well was telling us he was spending every night at a hotel. And we're like, bro, you whatever you're making, or you think you're making on this one load, half of that, or if not a third of that, is going to where you're going to spend tonight. And that's just not moving smart. We don't, I mean, I personally don't think so. So there's small things you can save. Fuel cards, we try not to use them, just because on the back end it ends up being costly. If you can build a capital and set it aside just for your fuel, like my husband said, is prep in advance. Always think of worst case scenario. If my tires blow out, if somebody pops our tires, or if I run over a nail at one of these job sites, because you will go into job sites where the the ground is not the safest. Um, so you got to make sure you're prepared for stuff like that. um, as well as equipment. Have backup equipment. We've had instances where your bungees pop off. It just happens when you're strapping. You need to have backup bungees or chains and binders. Make sure you have a backup set in case you do run into a load that needs more than you expected. We had a load where we had these huge water tanks, and my husband had to connect straps together in order to make them go over the tanks to make sure they didn't fall off. And we actually posted a video on that a few months back on the load almost falling off. Of course, they were water tanks, they were plastic. It wasn't something major. They did not fall off. We vowed to that. But it was something where we had to really consider, how are we going to make this happen? How are we going to make it work in order to still get our load safely and securely to its destination? Um, so I think that's something you guys can consider when starting off, is saving areas that you could kind of, you might not feel as comfortable, or it might kind of hurt you in the beginning, but it will, in the back end, it will make sense. It will, there will be a benefit to it.
Yeah, and just to kind of finish on that, and I'm gonna answer this question that we got here. But as far as like backup equipment is, you can never have. I don't think you can never have too much equipment, right? Like my wife said, bungees are gonna pop. I can guarantee it. Bungees are gonna pop. So definitely making sure that you have. I would say start off with 100. Go ahead and get 100 bungees. Just for those tarp loads. Another thing it was that we were in Kentucky not too long ago, maybe a few weeks ago. We were in Kentucky. I was there just because the broker, ended up lying to us, basically saying that the shipper or the receiver was going to be there. And it was a weekend. It was Labor weekend, so this is the time when it happened. So right at the end of what August we talking about. I ended up driving out there and had to stay pretty much all weekend plus Monday, and dropped off the load on Tuesday. Well, I had to find a place to park. Well, and what I mean by park, I parked my trailer, so I unlatched my trailer because I didn't want to drive around all weekend with my truck and trailer, trying to, find things to do while I'm in Kentucky. So I parked my trailer right behind like an Office Max or Office Depot, and I parked it right where their loading dock was at. So there was other trucks there, so I'm thinking it's safe. I have a load on there, it's secured and strapped. Well, the thing about it was my trailer wasn't tampered with, but my tarps were. So they took my tarps, they took my dunnage, and they took the two straps that I had on over my tarps, and I had one strap over my dunnage. They took all it, whoever they took it all off. Tarps ain't cheap. Tarps, the tarps that I had was $400. 16 by 27 with a 4 foot drop. That was $400 or $300 that went away. Dunnage is not cheap. These things are like $80 a pop. Straps, my 2-inch straps, they took those as well. So just making sure that you have backup, as far as for that. So if you don't have a tarps, making sure that you have extra tarps or extra, securement items that you have to make sure that, on the next load that you can still be able to secure your items or still be able to tarp those commodities, and making sure that you can still stay on the road. But yeah, so those are just some of the things that you'll have to, I went through. I'm pretty sure others go through it as well. When people can find a way to take something, man, they'll take it. And then unfortunately, man, they took my tarp. So yeah, man. Yeah, there was a question and Q. Let me see here. Well, actually, let's see. We got a Chicago's very own, man. I'm gonna answer your question. So it says he said, "How old?" And actually, I'm gonna highlight this real quick. Let me show. So he said, "How old is y'all's authority at the moment?" So our authority. So good question, man. To answer your question, there's two ways to look at it, right? So we set up our authority last year, right? So our authority is over a year old. But the thing about it is that we had inactivity for about 8 months when we went down, right? I had a video about it where the video was where have you been? And the thing about it is we went down for 8 months, dealing with a car accident we had, we was recovering from, you know, uh, you know, during that time, yeah, we had the physical therapy we was going through. It was times were rough at that time. So we deactivated our authority during that time, right, for 8 months. And then we reactivated our authority. Now, prior to that, we had 6 months active. And now we are 3 months active right now. So technically active, we're about 9 months in. So we have a 9 month active authority. And brokers will see that. So when we call, they'll say, "Hey, you guys are 3 months," but then they'll look and see prior to that in 2024 we started, and they'll see like, "Hey, you guys done loads for us, back in the past. You just," and we'll probably have to fill out a new carrier package if it's somebody new, or I mean, if somebody that we worked with before, we'll probably have to reactivate the carrier package and all of that. But once we fill that out, they'll go ahead and give us the load. So good question on that, man. Any other question that you guys have, man? Just shoot it in the comments. So the next point we're going to go to is build relationships with brokers. So definitely this is it's something vital, and I think a lot of drivers kind of they kind of lose this point here. Just speaking with other drivers, is building those relationships with brokers. Yes, I always preach to you guys is that never trust brokers, right? You don't never trust them. Like I told you, they will lie to you straight in your face about cutoff times, pickup times, all of these things. They spoke to shipper, they spoke to the receiver. They don't speak to them. Hey, I can't go up on this load, and eventually they end up going up on the load because nobody picked it up. They always will lie. Again, this is business though, so you got to look at it as business. You got to take your feelings out of it. If you do not have thick skin, I wouldn't recommend this business for you. You got to have thick skin, and you got to look at it as business. So the same way as they are looking at it as business, you got to look at it as business as well, and making sure that it's right for you, and this load is going to be good for you and your family, right? So, but with that, as far as business, once you build, have that relationship with the broker. Let's just say it's the first time that you're reaching out to the broker, and you get the load. You want to make sure that you are committed to basically doing your part, right? And that's basically that's the first thing. The first impression is the last impression. So you want to make sure that you are doing just at least your part on it. So making sure you do get to the pickup at least either on time or around that time, right? So you want to make sure you do get the load. You want to make sure that you do secure it properly. If they ask for tarps, go ahead and tarp the load. Get paid to tarp though, but I would just say is make sure that you do tarp the load, right? Make sure you secure it properly. Make sure you send pictures, right? Send pictures to them. It's going to build that relationship. When they call, make sure you answer the phone, or if not, send a text, right? If you can't talk to them, man, pull over, or, whenever you get to a light, or when you get to the fuel station or whatever, send a text to them saying, "Hey, I'm at this point. My ETA is this amount of time, right?" For me, I have my wife. My wife is the one that does all of that back office stuff. She's the one that's communicating most of the time. She's going to communicate with him, making sure that, hey, where he's at, she's going to communicate, because I can't. My hands be tied, right? We focused on driving. We focused on getting the load there and making sure he's get there safely, right? I try to make sure my wife handles the back end stuff and communicating with the brokers, right? Once we get there, we send pictures, and we also send BOL over signed to them. And we put, and another thing I would do, this is just something I just been adding lately, is I'll put POD. POD is proof of delivery, right? Right next to the signature of the receiver, I'll put POD and circle it to show basically my factoring company first and foremost, but then also show them that, hey, this is a proof of delivery and everything went smooth, right? I send that over to my wife. My wife will send that over to the broker. And then, she'll send like a nice little message at the end, like, nice working with you. If there's any other loads that you guys have like this one, please reach out to us. Let us know. We'll work with you. And I'm telling you, guys, they'll reach back out and be like, hey, we need this load, delivered. And then the ball's in your court. That's when you can negotiate. You give them your price. You tell them, hey, this is what I'm looking for this load. I don't care if it's 100 pounds to 10,000 pounds. You negotiate. The ball's in your court. And always, and I'll just leave you guys with this unless my wife has anything else to add to it. But with that is that they need you, right? They need you. Brokers need you. You the one that keeps this thing floating for them. If there's no drivers, no loads get delivered. Then they lose their jobs, right? Again, of course, we can go get direct shipments as well, though. Same way brokers build those relationships, because all they did was either they worked, with this distributor, distribution, manufacturer. They worked with them, built that relationship, and they was able to get the load. And now we can do the same thing as well. So also, build relationship with brokers, but also build relationships with the people that you are delivering to, where you're picking up from. Get those business cards and show them, present to them, hey, this is my truck, this is my trailer, I'm an owner operator, I'm leased on, I'm willing to work, I'm local, I can get these loads delivered to you, I know other drivers, you can cut the middleman out as far as with the broker and deal exactly, directly with me. So never lose sight of that as well, because that's the main goal, is having direct shipment. But I'm gonna let my wife speak if she got anything else to
I think that was the point that we were also going to piggyback off is have business cards. Be prepared, because the point of Hotshot, or I believe the end goal, is in any kind of business, you got to sell yourself. You have to prove to the shipper, you have to prove to this receiver and to this broker that you are the best in the business. Point blank, period. That you can top off the service that they have received from any other hotshot, any other driver. So, communication in this business is key from both ends. From not only your driver, because you'll have dispatchers contact your driver directly. So make sure as a driver, your phone, you're attentive to it. My husband, he has two phones, so that one phone can have the GPS or directions or whatever. The other phone, we give our dispatchers that number, so that when brokers dispatch us and they call us, he has a direct contact to them, and he can answer, "Hey, this is TQL. Hey, this is Axel Logistics. I'm calling. What's the ETA? Yada yada yada." As a dispatcher, you also have to communicate. Myself, I dispatch for my husband, and like he said, I do a lot of the back office. Brokers love when you communicate. Notify them, hey, my driver is on site. This is what's happening. Because a lot of times when they haven't received anything from you, they're like, hey, I expected you to be there at 8 o'clock. Where's your driver? Where is he at? Why isn't he already, left? I'm hearing that he's still getting loaded. What's going on? We had an instance where we were at a load and my husband arrived on time, but he sat there for almost 2 hours waiting for the workers to do some sort of training video. Then they had to stretch. Then they had to do a fire alarm training. And that was all prior to them even getting his load prepped to get loaded. These are things you want to notify your broker, because this shows your broker, hey, I'm there. I'm doing what I'm supposed to, but your people are not ready. So at the end of the day, I'm doing my part. So this is going to make it to the receiver later than you guys expected. So also that notifies them, hey, they're putting in the effort. They were there on time. They're letting us know something happened. We got to be lenient. We can't be calling them every 5 minutes. What's your ETA? What's your ETA? Hey, they sat there for 2 hours for us. But this is also where the negotiation comes in. You put this in writing, because a lot of times, from what I've noticed, is people are not reading their carrier packets. Read your carrier packets, read your rate comms. Rate comms right now are very detailed. A lot of times, rate comms right now, they're going to give you a set rate, and what they'll put at the very bottom, and they'll write it in very small writing, is, hey, if you leave the shipper, we can't pay you if something goes wrong. We can't pay you if they forgot to put something back. Or let's just say, you're at the loading dock, and for whatever reason, something's going on, they're taking forever. Well, you got to sit there. We only cover to pay you extra after 2 hours of you sitting there, or 3 hours. So you make sure you read that, because you can get that at the end. Let's just say he sat on a load, he had to sit there and wait for over 2 hours. And this is something we had happen very recently last week with the load with TQL, was that they had a local load, um, 2 picks, 2 drops. But when my husband arrived, at the first pick, they sent him the wrong direction. When they got him to the wrong direction, they're like, "Hey, you're at the wrong place. You got to go to our other distributor." So they tell him, "Go to the other distributor." And we're notifying TQL, "Hey, they're sending us somewhere else." Went to the other distributor, got there. Hey, the load isn't really ready. You got to wait. Waited. Finally, he got loaded. He got sent to the first drop. Got to the first drop, it was miscommunication, and they didn't have a BOL. So they're like, "Hey, we'll just email you the BOL." It was a hot mess. So what happened? Because all of these things are going on, we put it in writing. Put things in writing as a dispatcher. Writing makes it more permanent. Over the phone, yes, they record the calls, but they can always say, "Hey, I wasn't the one that answered the phone. I don't recall this conversation between you and I. This didn't happen. It didn't take place. You didn't notify me of the situation." So what happened was, I called the dispatcher, the initial dispatcher, and the broker, and I told him, "Hey, look, you guys put us on this load. You guys didn't have the load ready. We ended up having to go to 2 different places just for the first pick. That led us to delay the 2 drops. One of the drops had to be done the next day, so that impeded us from getting another load the following day. So due to that, we're like, hey, you guys only have a 1 hour setback on your rate comp. We sat just to receive the load over 2 hours. And then we also had to drive additional miles that was not accounted for. We got to get reimbursed. So now you start negotiating your reimbursement fee, and that gives you an upper hand, because what you thought was supposed to be only a $500 load, now you're banking 600. Of course, it was your time, it was, frustration or whatever it may be, but you could possibly go home the same day. You can sit on that load, book another partial for the next day. You can already get ready and know that, hey, I have this place to be at first thing in the morning, so I can start looking for loads in this exact location tomorrow morning and already have something set and scheduled. So communication is key. Write everything. Put it in writing. Put it in emails. Brokers, I know, all know from my end, is I'm gonna put it in writing. We'll call, but after hang up the phone, I'll type it up in an email. Hey, I spoke to broker such and such at this time. It was communicated that my driver is at such place, and this X, Y, and Z happened, and send it over to them. Also send pictures. My husband always records. Record. It may seem silly, but it covers your end. We have had situations where they are offloading us and they have a new person driving a forklift and they damage not only your equipment, but now they're damaging the load. And you can either write that on your BOL or have them write it and they sign for it because it was them, because it covers you. Because I'm telling you, brokers will look for any reason to come after your insurance. They will come because they honestly they want to make their bang for their buck when it comes to this rate. The least they can pay you and the more they can put in their pockets, the better for them. So make sure that you record, take pictures when you're being loaded, when you're being offloaded. We had an instance where they ripped up some of the wood on our trailer last year, and it was a load where the broker was just really giving us a hard time, and they had to physically pick up this huge metal cage thing off of our trailer, but because the first person with the forklift lifted up some of the wood on our trailer. So what happened? We sent them a video and we're like, hey, this is what happened. We need to get reimbursed. So they ended up adding an additional, I don't know if it was $200 or $150 to that load because of that situation.
Trying to see if we got any more questions. So no, not yet. So we're gonna go through these now. Next one is focus on end goals and building contracts. So I'm gonna actually let my wife tap a little bit more into this one here. So focus on end.
So the end goal is not to look at the load board every day. Um, and something my husband had mentioned is giving your business cards. Have them ready in your truck. If you have any off days and you see shippers that are in your area that you can go by, hey, this is my company. I did a load for you guys the other day. Just want to give you guys my business card. If you guys are ever looking for somebody to run things, cut the middleman, and we can actually negotiate on a price to save you money. Because mind you, these shippers or these receivers are paying double what we are making as a Hotshot. So we've noticed when we had a situation with the load that we were getting paid 600, 700. These brokers were actually making 2,000, 1,500. So they're making money. They're negotiating. They start off literally with the low end number for them, and the the more they're in need, the dire need they get to shipping this load and not finding somebody, that's when they increase the rate. So don't think because they're paying you 280 a mile, $3 a mile, that they're not making money. And brokers will lie to you, like my husband said. They'll say, "Man, I'm just cutting even. I'm breaking even." Trust me, that is a lie. They are making at least double of what they're offering you. And that's them considering that they're breaking even. So be cognizant of that. When you get to your receivers, be polite, be mannerable, um, speak to them in a mannerable way. Of course, if you're having a bad day, we all have those. We understand. You will have people who will talk to you kind of crazy. They will be disrespectful, but do your best to never leave character. Be straightforward. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Yes, sir. No, sir. And hand a business card. It doesn't hurt you. Yeah, you'll have people who tell you, man, no thanks. But in every business, you're selling yourself, like I said. Um, some will work, some it won't. But the end goal is to not be on the load board, because when you can get contracts to where you can have a set load uh, at least once a week or once a month, that's money that is guaranteed and you do not really have to work for it. It cuts half of the workload.
And I'll just say, just for us, the main thing for us, and I think I've told you guys this in other videos, was that we want to help, right? We want to help others. So whether if that's doing things like this, right, helping you guys, people that's not in the industry or people that's looking to get into the industry, um, we want to give that information, over to people, to help them, right, and be strategic as far as with their business, right? Because this is what this is. It's the hotshot business. So we want to make sure that we either help people through information, through just being accessible, as far as hiring, as far as paying, whatever it is, that we can help. That's what we want to do. That's, I believe, that's one of our main goals, is basically being able to help. Yes, the money and all of that is fine, but that's not the end goal for us. Is just to make a ton of money and just try to get rich off this whole thing, hiring a bunch of people, getting a bunch of equipment, and and just putting people in trucks and just telling them to go out. You know, that's not really our end goal for us. I would just say is that basically, man, we want to be able to help to where people can become leased on. If, let's just say, if we did hire people and we leased them on, that they can, we will help them as far as getting them to be owner operators, and they can actually show somebody else, to get in the game or whatever else it is that they want to do. So it's not just like hold people up under us and keep them up under us. No, it's, hey, we pushing you, we urging you to go get your own authority and start this, but you got to start somewhere. And whether if it's us with our equipment and to get you started, go ahead. But that's, another thing, as far as one of our end goals was, we got in this to help people out. And I feel like that's the most fulfilling thing that you can get out of this business, is helping other people, not just yourself. So yeah, that's the other part here. A few more here, guys, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get my man Q if he's still up. Um, be organized. So I believe this is another critical thing as well. Just to touch on a little bit as far as the way we are organized is, making sure one thing, man, that, and I think this is a thing that a lot of people don't talk about, just trucking in general, is there's a binder that you need to have. You need to have this in your truck at all times. I could show you guys my binder, maybe in a video. I'll show you guys my binder that I keep. But some of the things that I have in my binder, you want to keep your registration, truck trailer registration, right? You want to keep your MC 150 documents. You need to have a physical card inside of your binder. I also have a photo ID of my driver's license. I have my authority paperwork when I received it. I have that in my binder, and this is literally is just a folder, clear piece of paper, a clear like film that I put these papers in, and I just fold it, and it's literally in a binder. These are certain things that you guys have to have, and it'll keep things professional when you do get pulled over from DOT, and they ask for that binder, that you give everything over to them, and they can pretty much get any form out of your binder. But trust me, they will look at you a certain type of way when you hand that binder over to them, as opposed to a person looking for paperwork inside of their truck, trying to give them these type of things. You're going through your glove box looking for a registration, or you're looking for your physical card. All of those things. If you hand it to them in a binder, trust me, they're going to treat you different when you have that binder and it's all professional, laid out to them in that little plastic film that we can have it in. Another thing is like your clean driving, your logs, making sure you're organized as far as with your logs as well. Because again, when you do get pulled over, the officer literally goes onto the app of your logs, and what they'll do is that they'll simply just transfer the logs over to their system. They don't have to go through and scroll through logs trying to look for violations. No, they'll just send it over to themselves, and boom, the violations will go ahead and just pop up. Again, being professional, being organized as far as with that. Another thing is just with business, just having a clean system. Again, like my wife, she knows like her part, and I don't try to I don't try to step over her from what she does. Right. Of course, I'll get on the low board as well with her, because we feel like 4 hours is better than two. But again, when it comes to certain things and certain aspects, I know she's better at it. She's well versed in that area, and she's going to be able to take care of it for me. I got to, my side or whatever, where she doesn't step over on the things that I do and where I'm well at. And, we keep a clean, well polished system that we have, as far as the way we got it. I know, like, say for instance, one time, and this is another thing that you guys can take from this. If you have like another dispatcher, or if you're dispatching yourself, or if you have somebody else, if you have a significant partner, or if you have a dispatcher, I meant to say, if you have one of those besides yourself dispatching yourself, um, my wife will look at a load, and she'll say, "Hey, I got a load here, and it's paying this amount of money." And I say, man, that's good, but I can't go all the way there off of just that. I need to have something paired with it. She will look at another load and she will say, hey, I'll call this load, book this one, and then you call that one, we'll book this as well. She called one load, I called the other load, and I was like, hey, I got mine. She was like, I got mine as well. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pick up. And it was the one actually I recorded this. It was from Alabama. I mean, it was from Tucker, Georgia to Montgomery, Tucker, Georgia to Milton, Florida, all the same way. That was that 16. I made $1,600 in 5 hours. That was that load. We both tag team on that one. It's just we have a system. Every single day we get up and we follow that system. We let the system just the way we got it set up is just it plays itself out, and it's just been working for us. So making sure you be organized as far as with your system, your logs, making sure you and also I will keep and I'll touch on this last part is making sure your maintenance is also organized. Making sure you set a day to where you set up all your maintenance. Maintenance can be sporadic, of course. Like right now, I just had to change a tire on my trailer. So this was, this past week, I just had to change a trailer tire. Just busted on me on the road. But aside of that, there's a time where I set aside changing my filters, doing my oil changes, checking my tires. I check my tires, making sure that whatever tread, I just changed one of my truck tires. I just saw, hey, the tread is getting a little low. I don't want to get pulled over. And they look and they do the little, dime a quarter test, and I fail. Right. I want to go ahead and check my tires and I change them out. Your lights you want to look at. You want to just make sure that while you're doing your pre-trip, just knowing that, hey, I need to set a time, and we have a day where we set, and it's just like, hey, we're gonna go ahead and change out, our oil, our filter, CCV filter. We're gonna change these things out, at a particular time, and we make sure that we stay on top of our maintenance, and all of these things are organized. So being organized is crucial in this business, and making sure that you stay to that system that you got. Anything you want to add towards that?
As far as on a dispatcher and organization is key, is crucial. When you book a load, make sure this is just something we do is as soon as we get a rate com, we save it to our files. We set a file. Um, Once we set that file, I I I pretty much write down where the load is picking up, where the load is dropping. So from Anniston to Atlanta, or from Atlanta to Montgomery, or wherever it may be. That's just how I organize my files. And I'll write RC, which is rate once my husband sends me pictures of BOL, I instantly save those. BOL, same place, Anniston to Atlanta, or, Atlanta to Montgomery, whatever it may be. First thing I do is notify my broker, hey, driver delivered. Here's your BOL. Everything went well. Notify us if you need anything else. I already have a saved message I send them. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your trust in our business and my driver. We thank you for giving us this load. If you have any similar loads, we hope that we can work together in the near future. Here's our info, and I send that to them with the BOL. Right after, I go to factor. The sooner I factor, that means the sooner my driver gets paid, especially if you have people leased on. Your people want to get paid, and the quicker you pay your people, the happier they get, and the more they're willing to work for you, the least you prolong with paying them. So I go ahead, I factor. We had a guy where we helped him get a few loads. First thing we did, my husband sent me his rate com as soon as he delivered BOL. First thing I did was factor his load. I factored it. We calculated. My husband went ahead, paid him on out, and he appreciated it. He was grateful that it was so quick, simple process. Literally next day, the guy called us again. Hey, let me have you guys, dispatch for me, because yeah, I can dispatch for myself, but it's quicker, and your wife negotiates, because something you also have to be good at is negotiating. Of course, they have their rate and it might sound good, but you can always negotiate. um Tarps negotiable. When the something my husband always says is, I love a broker on the ropes. When it's almost 3 o'clock, they're in dire need for a load to get picked up. If you're in the area, you make yourself look better. Hey, I'm 10 minutes away. You want me to pick it up or what? I can assure you it'll get dropped off first thing in the morning. My driver's heading that way anyway. We're empty. We have brand new tarps. You got to make yourself look like you are the best driver, the best hotshot in town. Sell yourself. I'm not saying, you got to say, hey, there's nobody out there like me. But in a sense, you got to let them know there's nobody else there like you. Like you. So it gives the broker the incentive to work with you. Um, Organization as far as that, organization as far as communication. Like I said, communicating not only with your broker, but with your driver. Something I always do with my husband, I'm always calling him. And if your dispatcher is not consistently contacting you, where are you? And he hates it. I know he does. But I need to have an idea of what I'm going to tell this broker when they're calling me. Um, there's times where I tell them, hey, buzz off. You got the tracker. You see them. The man's en route. There's traffic. It's Atlanta. Y'all know at 5 o'clock, it's bumper to bumper. He gonna get there when he's gonna get there. But there's other instances where they're stuck at the shipper. They're taking forever to load him. The load isn't even ready. And you got to make sure you communicate with each other. Your your dispatcher and your driver, you guys have to have consistent communication. If there is no communication, I'm telling you, it shows the broker that there's a lack of professionalism. And you never want your broker to feel that way because it leads them to not want to work with you again. And again, what we said in the beginning, it's all about relationships. You want to build these relationships with the broker, the shippers, and the receivers. Um, I think that was all I had on that one.
Touched on, I think, everything on that one. All right, couple more guys, and then we're gonna get to some questions, and I see some good questions in here as well. But I think we're gonna tackle a few of them. So I think this is two. I think you wrote the same. So measuring equipment and check weight. So this is another good one, and also this is another way to also maximize on your loads. And what I mean by maximize is getting the most out of the loads. So you definitely want to make sure you measure your equipment. So with that being said, to start off from the beginning though, is the brokers, right? When you call in ABC Logistics, right? They don't really know what you're getting half of the time. They really don't know what you're getting. They'll say you're getting pipes or you're getting some coils, you're getting some building equipment, you're getting this. When it says like building equipment, they really don't know. A lot of times it's going to be in crates and they don't know what's inside the crates, right? Or it may be building equipment where there's pallets, there's some pipes, there's some lumber, there's different things with it. And they'll just say, hey, it's going to be about 20 feet. You get to the job site and all of a sudden it's 30 feet. The way you maximize is saying, hey, you had it for 20 feet and you have it on paper. It's not, and that's what goes back to the emails that my wife was talking about. The reason why we email is because it's in black and white. You can't argue against the black and white what you told me. And it's under a contract. That's what a Raycon is. It's pretty much, it is a contract. It's saying that, hey, you have your times, you have your addresses where you're going to, where you're dropping off at, and it also has what the material is and how long it is, how high it is. It has all your dimensions. Now, if it's 30 feet, now you go back saying, hey, I was set on 20 feet and I have another load that I'm about to go pick up that's 10, 20 feet. If I don't have that deck space to go pick up that other load, you put me at fault with another broker, right? So now I need to be compensated more because you're taking up more of my deck space. So you have to pay for that extra deck space that you have taken from me. And this is how you maximize. And you measure it. When you measure it, you take a picture when you measure it and you send it to them, showing them that you're not lying, that they took up 30 feet as opposed to the 20 feet that they told you that they were gonna use up. So you want to make sure that you measure your load. And then also there's times, and I'll just speak of a quick time where it was when we were earlier on, and people try to treat you like a rookie when you are early on. There was a time where we had booked the load out, and I know I'm gonna just keep it like that. We booked the load with a broker. We go to pick it up, and they had put like 200 pounds. It was like 200 pounds of pipe, right? We get there, the guy has a bundle of pipe, and we like, all right, and it was plastic pipes. So we was like, all right, he put it on there. And we was like, all right, that should be the only one. It's 200 pounds. He put another one. He started putting another one. He started putting another one. All of a sudden, we asked him, hey, where's the Raycon sheet? Or I mean, not the Raycon, where's the BOL that'll show us the weight? And on your BOL, it's going to have the weight on there. Each load is going to have the weight on it. It's either going to have approximate weight or it's going to have the actual weight that they actually weighed at the job site. So from that, it had like, I want to say it went from 200 to like, I want to say it was what, like 6,000 pounds or something like that. Right. So again, we called, we not pulling it. So we like, hey, we called, hey, you said it's going to be 200 pounds. It came out to 6,000. The first thing that the broker asked, show us where the weight is showing 6,000. And what we did, we showed the BOL. You can't argue with the company that said they weighed it. And now, what the first thing they asked, what do you guys want for it now to pull? And it was a local run, but what do you guys want? And tell them what you want. Go up. Because what I'm gonna tell you is that you always, and don't be shy about telling them what your price is. Now, I'm not saying just be astronomically high and I want $1 million for it, but no. If they say, for instance, if it's local run and they say, hey, it's going to be it's 20 miles, right? Let's just say it's 20 miles, and for those 20 miles, we're paying you $300, right? You getting paid good, miles per gallon. Good miles for that, right? And they give you $300, and you already got another run that you already got set up, right? But you need to knock this one on out. If it's $300 and they put overweight or over length on there, go ahead and go say, I want another 300. I want 600 for those 20 miles. Tell them you want $600. What they will do is they're not going to go with the $600. They're going to say, man, that's way too high. We only put an extra few thousand pounds on there, or we put only 10 extra feet on there. What they will do though is that now that you came at 600, they'll go down to like, hey, we'll do 450. Even though they probably wanted you to only go $50 more or $100 more, right? So you'll say, hey, I want $400 for it. They'll say, well, we'll give them $350. If you say $50 more, $350, they'll say, well, we'll give you $325. They always going to go down. So that's why I start off high and say, hey, I want 600, and I'm going to see if they go to 500. Then I may argue $50. Hey, well, I had to sit there and wait, for you to send over the Raycon. I couldn't get to the so you always, and again, like I told you, it's business. So now you're trying to maximize your day out of just that $300. Now you may get an extra $200 on top of that and only going 20 miles. So that's the other thing I would say is,
you will get a broker in this instance where the broker, let's just say we said 600, and they're like, no way, we won't do it. Okay, fine. Well, it's already the end of the day. You have the upper hand. All right, tell them to take it off. I agreed on 200. That's what we have on paper. I'll haul the 200. If not, I need to get reimbursed for my time that I spent here, and I missed out on a load. So I need to get reimbursed for that. Well, they're not trying to pay you for technically you doing nothing. All you did was show up, and you had to sit there for over an hour, and now you guys are going back and forth. It's a waste of time, because now if they put this load again back on the load board, now they got to wait for somebody else to call them. Now they got to negotiate again. And then they have to find somebody nearby. If they don't find somebody nearby, they need to be willing to wait for the load to get picked up within the next hour, 2 hours, or the following day. Well, that means they don't get paid either. So what they're gonna do is they will be willing to pay you. And of course, like my husband said, they're gonna try to come down. So when they come down, hey, no, my price is this. We went from 200 pounds to 6,000. I can only scale, because we're non-CDL, 10. I already have something on here. This is only a partial. My price is this. If you want to work with it, good. If not, I need you guys to take it off so I can go to my next delivery. You need to be able and willing to push back a lot of times. And you can feel it out. You can feel when the broker just doesn't want to deal with you, and they're just like, nah, I don't care if you leave. I'll just pay you the $100 for you going out there or whatever. You can sense it. And in that conversation, you can also sense when they're in desperate need for you to take it. So be like, no, I'm adamant. I'm stuck on 600. I feel like this is what it's worth for this amount of weight and this amount of deck space. As well as it's like on your BOL, please always read what you're receiving. We've had issues where they've loaded us with the wrong thing. We're like, hey, our paper says this, but y'all put, it says as far as pipes, it says pipes on here, but y'all are putting crates. You know, what is it? You know what I'm saying? We were told we were picking this up. We're getting something else. We were told that we were getting tractor pieces, but you guys got boxes or granite pieces. You have to make sure that it matches because, again, they can always come back on you. Hey, you left the shipper with the wrong load. You signed up to get this for me. You didn't check. So now you got to go back. And now you have to take a deadhead. Make sure you're reading your information. Make sure you're reading your BOLs. Trust me, there's time because by the time they get the load, they load you. Trust me, there's time for you to read it, check, confirm, ask your dispatcher, hey, can you tell me once again, what am I picking up? That's something me and my husband do in our talk as far as, hey, I booked this load for X amount of dollars. You're going X amount of miles. And first thing he'll say, what am I picking up? What's the weight? What's the length? Because also when you measure, hey, I pushed this load, I sat it in the very front of my trailer. I got 20 feet left. Look for a load within the 20 feet mark. That way I can already go ahead and start calling other brokers on partials, or I can start looking for loads for the following day that he can pick up nearby before he drops this one. So that way we know how much space there's left. We can pretty much multiply on what we're going to make for the day.
And I think we already touched on these two here. You got communication is crucial and always put things in writing, which you already touched on. So we already know about communication. You guys got the whole spiel as far as for communication, making sure you communicate with your broker, dispatcher, so on and so forth. And then always putting things in writing because that's what's going to keep you paid. This is what's going to keep you clean and so on and so forth. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go to these questions real quick. So let me actually bring and Q. What I'm gonna do, man, is I'm gonna send you this link. Um, Q, I'm gonna send you a link to your IG, and I'm gonna bring you on. Let me send it to myself right quick. But I got Chicago's very own, man. What's going on, guy? So he says, how bad is insurance for truck and trailer in the middle of I'm in the middle of looking for quotes. Chicago, man, I'm gonna give you, and I hope you still on right quick, man. So I'm gonna give you a huge savings. I'm gonna give you a huge savings real quick, man. I'm gonna show you how to save money on the insurance quote. Insurance quote on truck. So first and foremost, those that are watching right now, and those that will be watching in the in the future, with this live, insurance is up there. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's crazy if you go with the quote that they give you. So I'll just tell you this, man. About 90% of the industry goes with Progressive. The reason why is Progressive is straightforward. Um, it is what it is. What they tell you. You can also get savings as far as with your ELD. So whatever ELD company that you go with, you can save with them because they're tracking the way you drive, making sure that you don't get an accident and all of those things. If you already have a personal insurance with them, they'll also put together your personal and your commercial and put it together to where you can also save money. um and they service pretty much, I think, like almost all the states, right? So a lot of people go with Progressive, and more than likely they're going to be pretty competitive as far as their monthly pricing, as far as with just the industry. And it really just depends on what zip code that you use and your age and your current driving history. um You got to have three of them. So you got to have, of course, like you said, your truck, your trailer, but you also got to have cargo insurance. Now, the limits that you got to have, for a Hotshot. Now, this is the as far as with FMCSA, you got to have 750,000, right? That's just the bare minimum with FMCSA. But if you want to sign up and go with brokers are going to ask you to have $1 million policy. So you got to have $1 million auto policy on your truck, right? You got to have 100,000 on cargo insurance, and then you also got to have trailer insurance. Trailer insurance can be whatever because that's insuring your trailer, right? But you got to have those three to get set up with commercial insurance as far as with the FMCSA, and they're going to send it over. If you go with all of those three with an insurance agent and they just quote you these things and asking you what deductible you want to use, $1,000, $2,000, $2,500, or $5,000, you can choose whichever one you want to go with. If you go with that premium payment, now again, I don't know where you live at. I don't know what your driving history is. I don't know none of that. But I'll just tell you what I've seen. I've seen insurance premiums be like $7,500, $8,000, $6,500. Depending on you, like I said, your driving history, it can be up there. And that's just putting it down. Mind you, when you're going through FMCSA and you're doing the MC 150, you're doing the BOC 3, you're doing all of these things to get your MC and your DOT set up, your DOT number and your MC number. You're just trying to get all of those things set up at the beginning. The last thing they're going to ask for, if you don't have insurance already for commercial, is they're going to say, hey, you already going to get your DOT number in the mail, probably within like a week. You'll have your MC number probably within the next week. You'll have it once you do all of those filings. You'll get all of that next week. You got your DOT number and your MC. You already put it on your truck to show like, hey, we already compliant with FMCSA. Well, FMCSA is going to tell you now that you got all of that, your authorities is not going to be active until 30 days of you paying all of these things. And what they told me, I'm going off of my story. I didn't have insurance set up yet. So I already paid for the BOC3, MC 150, and all of these other filings that I had to have, right? Your UCR and all of that. When they did my physical, all of that stuff was done. The last thing that they needed was my insurance. And now here comes the play for you. So I was like, man, I can't drive. I can't pick up a load. It was like, you can drive, but you can't pick up a load until your authorities is active. I'm like, I got my MC number though. It was like, that's just the number. It's not active though. So I was like, what's the last thing I need? They said, you need to have insurance. And I already knew I got a quote and it was like $7,500. So I waited until like the 26th day before, my authorities was about to be active and before I got insurance. So I waited till like the 26th day because now I'm sitting there with, let's just say if I went with all three insurances and went on ahead and said it and waited those 30 days, after those 30 days, another insurance payment is going to come out and I haven't gotten a load yet, right? I'm not picking up any cargo in those 30 days. So why would I have cargo insurance? I'm not using my trailer because I'm not picking up no loads. So why would I have trailer insurance? The only thing I would possibly drive is my truck, right? But it's not going to be commercial. It's going to be just doing local things around the way. So what I did and what I thought of, and this is the play for you, this is what I would advise you to do, whatever quote you go with. This is what I would say for anybody that's looking to get in the Hotshot, is I would set up $100,000 cargo insurance policy. That's what I would set up. I would set up $100,000 just for the truck. Don't get cargo insurance just yet. Don't get trailer insurance just yet. Set up $100,000 commercial, and that's the bare minimum commercial insurance you got to have, right? You set that up. The premium payment for that is going to be around $2,000, depending on what state. But around $2,000, you'll pay for the insurance premium, right? They'll tell you, if you go with Progressive, they're going to tell you, we can't send this to FMCSA. So FMCSA won't see $100,000 policy on your truck because they can't send it to them. The bare minimum for FMCSA is $750,000. So only you in Progressive or whatever insurance company will see that, right? What I did was now the next day I called back to Progressive and said, hey, I want to add now $100,000 policy. I want to add cargo insurance, and I want to also add trailer insurance. instead of them telling me to make a premium payment, they put it on my next month bill. So let's just say if my bill was $2,000 and I put the $1,000,000, I upped the policy from 100,000 to 1,000,000, and I put cargo insurance 100,000 and trailer insurance. My minimum payment with just regular $100,000 policy. I'm just randomly speaking, like I said, I'm hypothetically speaking. Let's just say if it's $2,000, what happened now is that they say, all right, your next month payment instead of $2,000, it's going to be $2,700, right? Well, I'm already about to start operating in the next 2 or 3 days. So now I got a full month to go ahead and now start operating to pay that $2,700. And then after that, after we added on the premium payments to the next month's bill, your regular payment will be $2,000. So put all of those premium payments on the next bill. Your next month's bill may be higher, but it's not going to be $7,000. I'd rather pay $2,700 as opposed to $7,000, and that's the tip I would give you to start. And anybody, to start before dropping all that money down.
Some sort of capital or build some sort of profit within those first 30 days.
Yep.
And again, and this is why we always reflect on having some sort of savings, because your first 30 days, it seems like money's going everywhere except in your pocket.
Yep.
You got to pay for all this stuff all at once, and yet you can't pick up a load.
Right.
So make sure you have money set aside to cover any home expenses, children, or anything you need for a couple of months before you say, hey, I'm jumping into this. Because I'm telling you, the first 30 days, the first 90 days are going to be the toughest 90 days you'll have, because it's going to be a lot of money going out and not a lot of money coming in.
Yeah. So that's why I always, the savings that we had, I wanted to make sure I kept our savings getting into the business, and that I wasn't just paying all this money towards insurance and towards all of these filings with FMCSA, truck payments, trailer payments, and all of those things. I wanted to try to keep as much money as I could. As far as what I save. And so that's why I came up, with this strategy as far as with insurance and going around. It's always two ways to skin a cat, is from what I heard. And of course, you can go ahead and go through that way, calling an insurance agent, them telling you, hey, this is what your premium payments is going to be. This is what your monthly bill payments will be. And you take those things and you think about it, and I'm going to get other quotes. Or like I said, you can go about it the way I did, man. Set up $100,000 policy, initially paying that premium payment on $100,000. The next day I called, up the policy up to $1,000,000, got trailer, got cargo, and then they put it on my next month's bill. All right. So hopefully that helps someone out, man. I'm actually about to set up. Let's see here. Let me get to this one. So I've had Class A CDL 10 years. I'm assuming that's the years you meant to say. I have a newer 3.5 ton. Would you suggest starting out with a non-CDL, just going and getting a 14 gen 35 plus 5 for lower overhead, or getting a 1 ton and 25 gen? So good question, man. So I would just say this. And this is just my opinion on this. What I would say is it really depends on if you're looking to do this for the long run, or is this just something that you're looking to do just to see if it's going to something that you can kind of figure out if you would like it. So it really depends on where you're at, because like I said, depends on making that investment in what trailer, because trailers are expensive. These are not just like a little $100 trailers and nothing like that. You talking, especially when you're talking something newer, 35 plus 5, we talking around $12,000 to $13,000. 25, you're talking about anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000. So these are huge investments. So I would just say that first, it depends, right, on initially if you're looking to do this for the long haul, right? If you truly got your business set up, you truly got everything strategized already, what I would say is I would go ahead and go with the 25 gen. The reason being is because you already have CDL, and I would put CDL to use. So I will go ahead and take the CDL route. as opposed to doing non-CDL. That's my opinion. If you're looking to do this for the long haul and you're willing to invest in a trailer and willing to go all out, go ahead and utilize your CDL. You already put the time and the effort to do it. You already put the money into getting your CDL, and you've already got experience for 10 years. I would go ahead and utilize the 10 years, utilize the money that you put into it, all the knowledge you have into CDL, and I will go ahead and get a 25 gen if you're looking to do this for the long haul. If not, if you're looking to kind of just test the waters out and you're kind of just wanting to see if it's something fit for you, then I would go the cheaper route by just getting the 14 gen non-CDL route and going about it that way and just seeing, and then eventually going up to the CDL eventually once you get to, to that point. That would be my advice. So long haul, CDL. If it's short haul, and I'm talking about as far as time putting into it, I would say do non-CDL. Hopefully that helps out. Likewise, man. Moneybag. Likewise, man. Good seeing you on here as well. Let's see here, man. You got a question as well. So why is everyone saying it's no money in Hotshot? This is what I would say against that, right? And I would kind of push back on, as opposed to people just saying there's no money in Hotshot, is ask them why. Why do they say there's no money in Hotshot? For me, like I said, there's money in trucking. There's money in Hotshot. For us, I'm just only speaking about us right now. Since we've come back, right, for these last 3 months, we making over $3 a mile, easy. We making over $3 a mile, and for us, we make anywhere from 35 to 5,000 a week. And we talking not even going. We not going to Texas. We not going. We haven't done anything past Kentucky. I think the longest hauls we've been doing so far is 6 hours. We haven't done nothing crazy. We haven't done Pennsylvania's and New York's and none of the up north stuff. We haven't went like crazy Midwest. The furthest we went out is Arkansas. So we stand in the Arkansas, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida, at times, Alabama, Mississippi. That's it. No Louisianas, no Texas, no none of that. And we like I said, we bring home what we bring home, if not, like I said, if not more. But easy, man, we bringing that home. So if 3,500 to 5,000, not traveling a far distance and bringing that home each month, and mind you, our trailer is paid off. Our truck is a 2015 truck, so we're not making these $1,100 and $1,600 payments. I'm hearing new people that's driving newer trucks. Fuel, we average anywhere from maybe 14 to 16 miles per gallon. So I'm not sure why people saying that. Again, I would love to hear why people say that. I'll give you guys this though. I had recently got a message from a gentleman on IG, and he said he was in it for 11 months, and he said, "Man, I got out of it. Man, it was not a good business." He said it wasn't a good business. Hotshot wasn't a good business for him. And I asked him why, and he never replied back. I said, why do you say Hotshot is not a good business, or why do you say you didn't make money? And again, I believe this. I believe it all goes back to research. Is you got to make sure you put the research. I researched, me and my wife, we researched for 1 year before we got in it. 1 year we researched, and we looked at the good, the bad, and the ugly before we got in it. But we wanted to make sure who's going to dispatch and keep these wheels going. If something goes south, how are we going to take care of it? For us, we got two auto, what do you call that? Like as far as like we got AAA, and we also have Allstate as well, but like roadside assistance and all of those things, man. We want to make sure that anything that happens, we're going to be covered from nationwide wherever we go. Like again, the insurance, we came up with that whole plan. Making sure as far as like food and stuff like that, making sure we pack a cooler. We first aid kits, all of that stuff, man. We made sure that we put the research behind it. The other thing was making sure that you have a business plan. When do you want to scale up? When is it time for you to scale down? Do you want to go CDL? Do you want to go non-CDL? Where you going to get your trailer from? Who's going to service your trailer? How you going to take care of maintenance? Are you going to do the maintenance? Are you going to have somebody else do maintenance? Where you going to get your loads from? Who's going to be your factoring company? Who's going to do your paperwork when you got it? Because every person that you call, every broker that you call, and you never work with them, you got to do a carrier package. Some carrier packages you got to fill out manually. They can take 30 minutes. Some take 10 seconds because all of that is already pre-filled. So you got to make sure that you have a solid business plan put together before you get in it. And I believe that's where a lot of people are not making money at, is because they think they got a truck, they got a trailer, they put some insurance, and now all the loads going to just come to me. And I believe it's a false hope that they have from false narratives that they see from other people. And they don't just tell them the real is again, like, you're going to get played by brokers. Brokers are going to try to play you. Dispatchers are going to try to get over on you. People going to try to scale up faster than what they need to. So I would just say is making sure to ask why they say there's no money in it. Where are they getting their loads from? How are they keeping their truck rolling? And that's what I would say as far as why everybody says there's no. So appreciate the info, man. I'm glad you received that info, bro. Hopefully, man, you go far with that. The long run, definitely. If you go to long run, Dylan, man, definitely, like I said, man, I would go CDL route. Thanks. I was more worried about that first 90 days and keeping my fixed monthly bills like truck, trailer, and insurance under 2,500. Let's see. How was your first 90 days? And any advice? So this is a good question, man. These are questions. These are the questions that I feel like it needs to be asked. So our first 90 days, it was tough. It was tough. The reason being, Dylan, I would say this. This is one of the plans that I did, and I got this from my factoring company. So the first factoring company that I went with was Truck Stop, right? Truck Stop Factoring. That's who the first ones I went with. They gave me a 2.75 factoring fee, right? So any load that I got factored, they took out 2.75 out of those loads. Right now, we're with Truck Smarter. Truck Smarter started, and the reason why we went with Truck Smarter is because they started with an initial fee of 1.9 for the first 90 days. Sorry, first 3 months it was 1.9, and then after that they went to 2.5. Still cheaper than Truck Stop. So we with Truck Smarter now. When I was with Truck Stop, he said he was telling us like certain things that you want to do to make sure you kind of stay ahead of everybody. And one of the things that he told us was that he was like, you want to write down, because you're brand new, you want to write down every broker that you call. And if you can't get the load, ask them, when can you start getting loads? So they will tell you, our requirement is 90 days. Our requirement is 6 months. Our requirement is 1 year. Every broker that we call, or if it was day one, we'll write them down. So let's just say TQL take you first day. First day, as soon as you get your authority, you call on a load on TQL, they're going to send you a carrier package. Now, mind you, the carrier package, they're going to take 2 days to process it, though. So you may not get the load. So just know that when you call them and you get your authority, go ahead and tell them you got your authority, but then they're going to take 2 days. If not, because once you fill it out, it's going to take another 24 hours for them to go ahead and process it. So you may not get the load right then and there. But this is some of the things that you're going to deal with. Some people will, just because TQL is a huge company, they nationwide or whatever, they're a huge company, so it's a lot of people trying to book loads with them, and that's just how it goes. So it takes 24 hours to process. There's going to be other people that can take you day one, and they'll process they'll process the carrier package right then and there, and you can go ahead and get the load, right? So let's just say if it was TQL, we wrote them down. Any load that we see with TQL, Total Quality Logistics, we know that we can go ahead and book right now. So that was one we put on this bracket here, day one. Then we'll call. Let's just say we call ABC Logistics. They'll say, hey, we need 90 days. We'll put 3 months. ABC Logistics, we'll put in that column there. So when we hit 3 months, we know ABC Logistics we're going to be able to work with. If it was 6 months, 180 days, XYZ Logistics, we put them in this column. So every single broker we would put down, and if it was a broker that was not factorable, we'll take them off the list, right? So that's how we did it until we got to that 6 month mark, and then we started seeing like, man, things are really opening up at that time. First 90 days, you're going to get crap loads. You may get some $2 a mile loads. You gonna get those. You'll get those. You'll definitely get them. A lot of people are not gonna want to try to let you kind of negotiate. Your negotiation may not be, they may not want you to negotiate. They may tell you like, hey, you brand new, while you're negotiating, continue to negotiate. Whether if it's $50 or $100, it's still money going in your pocket, right? But you will get lows where, let's just say, if you day one in and they say, hey, you're going to, I don't know where you're at, but I'm gonna just use Georgia where I'm at. So let's just say you in Georgia. Let's just say you in Georgia, and they send you out over to South Carolina. No, actually, let's say Kentucky. Kentucky is not really a great area as far as with loads, especially to come back on. Right? Let's just say you go to Kentucky. You go to Kentucky on $800. Right, from Georgia to Kentucky, $800. Not a bad load, right? Not good money for one day. You get there in one day. You drop the load off the next day, and you already got paid $100 that same day you dropped off. Now you're trying to find a load to come back on, or you may try to go to another place. Kentucky may have 12 loads, and it may be, people that's, putting the duplicate loads on there. So really, out of those 12, it may be only 7 or 8 loads really out there, and they only paying 40 cents, 50 cents, 90 cents a mile. And you're like, man, I don't want to take, but you may have to take it. That's what I mean by tough. You may be driving on a 90 cent, $1.15 a mile to get. Now you're going to South Carolina. Now you may be going to Florida a little bit more than you want to. Florida's a hard state because there's no other state next to it. The only thing you can do is go up, right? So and you may be driving on, like I said, 50 cents a mile. It's hard to partial, when you first 90 days in, because a lot of brokers don't want to work with you. So you sitting there trying to, nickel and dime, kind of like, trying to negotiate up, and you taking these lows that's not really paying a lot of money, but you just trying to get your tenure up. So that's why I said you want to have capital before you get in it. And that's why I believe a lot of people say there's no money in it, because they're not expecting those first 90 days to go the way they went. So making sure that you have capital, making sure that, like, again, your truck is clean, making sure your trailer, of course, if you a lot of people go in with brand new trailers. I would advise getting a brand new trailer and maybe an older truck, unless you got a newer truck already and you're willing to pay, you got to pay it off or whatever. But making sure that you're ready for those first 90, because like I said, it's going to be crap loads. It's hard to parse your whole trailer out. You're going to be taking more full size loads, tarp loads, and making sure you get a twit card as well. Twit card, getting like what's the other thing, babe? Uh Twic and hazmat. Another thing, man, to kind of be ahead of the curve, because a lot of people don't want to take hazmat, or they don't have hazmat. They don't have twit cards. Making sure you get a twit card, making sure you get your hazmat certification. Those things are going to help you stick out, especially the first 90 days. Because a lot of people don't have it. If you have air ride on your trailer, if you go CDL route, I would say, if you can afford it, get air ride. A lot of people don't have air ride, and they pay money for air ride. They pay a lot of money for air ride. You can go local, man, and get paid $1,000 that they would pay only $300 on for a local ride, and you only going 50 miles, and they'll pay you $1,000. So those things are going to keep you, taking oversized. Like when we did, one way we kept, winning. I ain't gonna say, I say we were winning, or we were kind of gradually getting, like I said, we was making it each month, able to save money each month during those 90 days, was oversized. Oversized loads also, right now they don't pay as much, but we were doing a lot of oversized loads back then. A lot of people didn't want to do oversized loads. The reason why is because they require permits. You got to call. You got to be on the phone, telling people like, hey, this is where I'm taking this load to. This is the dimensions that it is. And they trying to show you, or they're trying to find the right road that won't get you so tight in these roads, or the bridge is too low, making sure you got the proper clearance to get through these roads, and making sure you got a wide enough space for the oversized. And that's when you call in the city and you telling them, hey, let's just say you call in Georgia, hey, I got a load. You got to call each state that you passing over to deliver this load to. If it's the same state, you only call that one state, but and then you got to pay. Let's just say Georgia's like $28, $30, $35, something like that. Alabama may be something different. South Carolina, North Carolina is something different. And they all going to tell you the same route. So you'll call and they'll say, hey, this is the route that you're going to go on. And you got to stay on that route. but oversized loads will pay more money. They'll pay more money. So making sure you stay ahead of the curve by doing things different than everybody else. The loads that people don't take, you want to make sure that you do take, right? Especially the first 90 days. Hazmat, twit car, oversized dimension loads, and then like I said, you gonna take some crap loads as well, right? So making sure that you're ready for that, man. If you can make it past those 90 days, you're gonna be. I'm telling you, it'll open up. The load board will definitely open up, and then if you can get direct shipment as well, that's even better. So hopefully that helps out as well, man. Man, I see a lot of them. Yes, hazmat. Yep. Add that to your CDL if you can. Absolutely, man. I'm a heavy hauler right now here in Oklahoma, man. I feel like Oklahoma is a good state, man. I've been to Oklahoma a few times. I've gotten out of Oklahoma going back to Georgia and got paid good money, to come back on. So I feel like you in a good state, man, as far as for that. So you should be fine. Dylan, you should be good, man. You should be fine as far as going. You can, like I said, you can go CDL route or you can go, the non CDL route, but you'll be fine, man. Let me add my guy Q, man, because the questions I think I answered y'all's questions in here. So let me add Q. Let me get to my man. This is good though. I like this. Got to do more of these lives. But let me send him this. Actually, I should have sent it to my other phone. Hold on one sec, guys. Hold on one sec. Let me add my guy Q, man, so he can kind of go over leased on options, man. I think that's another option for you guys, especially so leased on options, man, is good for you guys, especially if you're thinking about getting into it, but you don't have the capital, as much capital as you want to go own an operator. Leased on is another way for you to also get into the business, man, without actually having as much capital as you need as far as on an operator. So let me bring Q on here. And hold on one sec, guys. Let me just get this code over to him. All right, Q. I'm about to send it over to you now. All right, Q. So, man, if you can, man, I understand as far as what timing and everything, but if you can, just click on that link, and what it'll do, it'll bring you up. It will bring you up, and basically, I'll bring you up on here. That's another good question, Bunny Bag, man. I like this. I like this question though. So how much capital would you say you need to get started? All right, so you guys already know as far as with insurance, right? I kind of gave you guys the breakdown as far as how to kind of get over the premium as far as for insurance, right? So we're talking after you making your truck payment, so you up to date on your truck payment. You already got your trailer, and either you paid it off or you got a trailer payment, right? Um, let's just say you got all your expenses as far as house, cell phone, rent, mortgage, or whatever like that. All of that is already taken care of, right? And then now you are running. You are starting. Now you're running on the low board, and you got. So the capital I would say that you would need for for me, I would say at least around. I would say anywhere from 7 to 10. I would say 7 to 10 grand I would say that you would need, especially for those first 90 days, man, just in case if things just go south. And again, just like my wife was saying beforehand, is that you want to think about the worst possible way of things going. Just like I told you guys, man, for us, man, we didn't know we would get into. First thing happened was our transmission on our truck went out. The reason why the transmission went out, we pulled a load that was a crap load. It was a container, which I would never pull again. Right? We pulled a container. We didn't know at that time. I told you the brokers will get over on you. They'll tell you that they'll use these fancy words, not necessarily container. They'll use, I forgot what they told my wife, but they told her, hold on, I see you in here, Q. I just don't see the camera real quick, but I don't know if you want to there we go. Okay. I'm about to bring you up. Let me answer this question real quick and then I'm gonna bring you up. All right. So they use some word terminology. It was a container, but they used something else, to kind of fluff it up a little bit. We got there, we knew it was a container. We saw other people that were pulling containers, and my truck broke down twice pulling that container right down to Florida. Made it back. I made it there. Got it fixed. Made it back, and but that was something that started with the transmission, and then as I continued to pull, it just got weaker and weaker, and the transmission became weaker and weaker, where eventually the clutches burnt out on it, and I had to go ahead and replace the transmission. While I'm getting the transmission repaired, right? So the truck is off to the side. Thank God we had another vehicle, right? So we have our car. We were getting around in our car. Truck is off to the side getting repaired. While we getting that repaired, we got in an accident in our car. Put us out of commission as far as with work. So me and my wife is going through physical therapy. We getting, MRIs done, CAT scans done. My wife, her, she was getting severe headaches and migraines and everything. My back was was injured. So, the doctor pretty much put me out of work until he started seeing some type of recovery as far as with both of us. So my wife has her own. She has cleaning as well. She has a cleaning business on the side as well, right? So we trying to make ends meet, but again, the capital is where I'm getting at, where we are able to survive, but also we needed help as well. While we going through that, other things happen. Life was just lifing at that point. So I would just say, man, is that getting the transmission repaired. Cummins, not even just Ram transmissions are not cheap, especially on diesel engines. So I think I want to say, man, I paid for 7,500. I had to pay up front, and then after that, I got my core back. So once I sent in the old transmission, they gave me some money back, which is I think like around $2,000 that got back. But so initially 5,500, but then we had to pay bills during during that time as well. So I would just say, man, just worst case scenario, man, around 7 to 10. For you, it may not be as bad. You may can have five, saved up. I would say no less than five though, right? But I would say just to be on the safe side, man, I would say have $7,000 to $10,000 saved up after everything, after you get everything, all your securement items, your truck, your trailer, have that saved up on the side just in case if anything happens, right? So yeah, that's what I would say, have saved up. And then also too, if you just don't, you don't really get the lows that you're looking for at that time, things just not working out for you, and you need some, you got to have some capital to pay those bills, man. Have that money set to the side. So that's what I would say to answer that question. Let me bring my guy Q up right quick. Q, I got to put these headphones on you for it. Let me see right quick. Let me get my headphones right quick so I can hear you. One sec, guys. And I'm gonna let my man Q man talk about if y'all got anything as far if y'all have anything as far as least on questions, man, this would be the perfect time to ask them. Q, let me get you up here, bro. And let me take this. Man, I appreciate your time. Many guys would take the time and do a live to help others out, man. Absolutely, man. And like I said, man, I'm looking to do this even more as well, Dylan, man. I really hope, man, your questions were answered, and that definitely appreciate it, because you giving free game, and I'm about to jump out here in the next 60 days doing Hotshot. That's what's up, man. I like hearing that. All right, let me bring my boy.
And I'm about to jump out here in the next 60 days doing hot shot. That's what's up, man. I like hearing that. All right, let me bring my boy. And I'm about to jump out here in the next 60 days doing hot shot. That's what's up, man. I like hearing that. All right, let me bring my boy. And I'm about to jump out here in the next 60 days doing hot shot. Can you guys hear me? I like hearing that. All right, let me bring my boy. And I'm about to jump out here in the next 60 days doing hot shot. Can you guys hear me? I like hearing that.
Hey Q, do you have two systems going? Yeah, we can hear you. It's just you.
Yes, so I'm using my phone and I can't hear you on my phone. I'm muted.
Okay.
The computer's muted.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah,
Hey
I
Q,
can't
you
hear
hear me
you.
now?
Let me see here.
Let me see. You got it unmuted. And also
I'm
Q turn.
muted. Hold on, let me try to send this link to the computer, okay?
Okay.
And also Q turn. Hold on, let me try to send this link to the computer, okay?
All right, guys. I'm gonna mute Q right quick while he set that up. Dylan, I'm planning. Let's see here. I'm planning on. Let's see here. I'm planning on 6 months to a year. I'll be getting out. Yeah, man. Again, like I said, man, for me, man, like I said, I planned it for a year. So doing research, creating a business structure. My wife also researched as far as for dispatching. So, man, we literally was putting in the grind, because I was working a job at the time before I got in the hot shot. I was working a 9 to 5, right? I was working from home. I was a supervisor, and that's how I got into it. Was basically during my time during working from home, I was researching. I was researching. I was looking at everybody that was in the hot shot, all the names that's in the hot shot. Man, I was looking at everybody that was in it, and I was learning through them. I purchased a DOT book and started reading on DOT and seeing what was causing people to get put out of service, what was causing people's insurance to go up, uh, you know, uh, just everything that could go wrong. What was the most common thing that DOT would pull you over for, right? I was doing all of those things to make sure that I was not going through that, or it was less likely for me to go through it. And that's what I was doing for 1 year. And then I was asking my wife, hey, do you think you can dispatch for me? Because I know it's going to be rough for me to drive and dispatch myself as well. Or I don't want to pay anybody. Because again, like I told you, if you paying somebody to dispatch, it's 15% already coming out. Then you got, anywhere from 2% to 2 or even 3%, 2 to 3% coming out for just factoring. So you already talking about close to 20% of your money that you are driving and using your equipment on for 20% to come out and you're not getting paid for that. So I just wanted to make sure that my wife was able to dispatch me, and then we made this into like a family thing. All right, Q. What about now, man?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm sorry about that.
All right, Q, man. If you just introduce yourself, man, just tell the people who you are.
My name is Ali. Hi guys, my name is Ali, and I'm with the Livestream Hotshot.
That's what's up, man.
This is Livestream Hotshot with my girlfriend and so
Q, you're leased on?
yes, I'm still strong. Well, the goal was can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you breaking up.
Dang, I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know.
The quality is definitely better than what it was before because it had like an echo, but now it's just breaking up a little bit. I don't know if
I'm
it's
in
like
April.
your internet or what it is, but go ahead. But go ahead. I think we'll be able to get it.
Don't. Okay. So like I was saying, the goal was to like lease onto a company for like 3 months, just so we can have yeah, it's a way that I can like I can hear myself and I can't like concentrate when that happens. Oh, you guys can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear
Okay.
you now.
Oh, you can hear me now. Okay.
Yeah,
So like I was saying, man, the goal was, to to lease onto a company, for, 2 to 3 months, and that ain't unfortunately. And just like I said, I've been leased on the past 2 years now.
2 years
So
now.
yes, you guys like you. I can hear my. Oh my god. Uh, is there a way I can stop this from doing this echo? Is it on your side or just my side?
It should be. I think it's just on your side because when I speak, like let's just say if I mute you and I start talking, it's only there's no echo. So let me actually let me hold on one second. Let me show you right quick. Let me see if you can hear. Well, I'm about to mute your mic real quick, and I'm gonna just answer Dylan real quick or see what he just said right quick. Hold on one sec. All right, so Dylan, I've been planning for over a year. I'm making sure my ducks are in a row. Eventually, my wife will be dispatching me. That's the end goal. So yeah, man. Definitely. I would just I'm gonna just touch on this because Q has a girlfriend. I have my wife. You have your wife as well, Dylan. So again, making this like a home thing or whatever. Everything is in house, right? Just making sure that your wife is up for it, right? Because I hear other people, right? They'll say, "Hey, I got my girlfriend or whatever," but she doesn't dispatch. And the reason being is because she's just not into that, or she has her own thing that she has going on, right? Which I understand that and I respect that, right? But just making sure that this is really what she wants to do, because again, man, it is a commitment. And the thing about it, Dylan, is that if you are stuck somewhere, right? I'll just speak on my wife right quick. My wife is, her attitude towards the business as far as dispatching is that I don't want him stuck anywhere. I always want his wheels turning. And if he's stuck, I'm not doing my job, right? I'm not doing well at my job. Even whatever the load board is saying, right? If there's no loads to 100 loads that's on the load board, I'm not doing my job if I have him stuck somewhere. I should always have him rolling. I should always have him looking for the next going to the next place, right? And I believe that's what, as far as for your wife, I believe that's the mentality or somewhat of the mentality she has to have going into this. Waking up in the morning, again, she has to wake up early. I don't know, again, what your house structure is, kids or anything like that, or what else does she do, but making sure that she's able to get up early, and the early bird gets the worm in this business. You're going to see loads go quick. You'll get up at 7, you're going to get up at 8, and you'll start seeing loads pop up. As soon as you call, these loads are going just like this. And you're going to be looking like, man, I'm here in, let's just say, Arizona, and I'm stuck in Arizona and I don't want to be here any longer, right? You want to get up out of Arizona, and your wife may get frustrated that I can't get my husband out of Arizona. So now what are we going to do? Are you going to start moving dead, just driving deadhead, through, these states? Are you going to go through Nevada and, all of these things, right? To get closer to home, wherever, closer to Oklahoma. So, it's going to be frustrating at times, and you just got to know, man, just to have that patience, just know that, you may have to deadhead it to another state, try to find another load. You may have to deadhead all the way. like I said, some days it's like that. You got to take the good with the bad with it, and then just being there for her, but also setting a time where you can also get on the low board with her, so you can see exactly what she's seeing. And hey, I know what type of lows you want, Dylan, but the lows right now is not looking like that. Are you willing to take lesser money? Are you willing to take, heavier weight? Are you willing to take X, Y, and Z? Or whatever, right? So it just depends on the partnership. But again, it's gonna bring it's gonna either bring you guys closer together, or man, it's gonna be a lot more fights in the house, man, as far as especially, her dispatching. So I just want to give you, like, again, the totality of everything, man, because again, it can be challenging, especially on a marriage. It can be challenging on, you guys' relationship as far as communication skills, or it could bring you guys closer together as well, that, you guys are bringing this thing home for just, for your family. So yeah, just making sure that she does her research on that. And yeah, man, let me bring my boy Q back up. I see you back on Q. See how it's sounding now, man.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, man, it sounds good.
Cool. All right. Sorry about that, guys, man. I don't know what's going on, but I got it all figured out.
Oh man, you got a question already, man.
Oh, okay. Let's see here. So do you make your own schedule when you release on? Well, I'd say yes and then no, because that's for me. I usually do like, let's say 2 or 3 weeks on the road and then come home for like about, it just depends on like whenever you want to stay home, from 2 days to a week or so. Sometimes I even go up to like 2 weeks. And the company that I'm leased onto, if you stay home for more than 2 weeks, for more than like, yeah, let's say if you stay home for 2 weeks, you don't have to pay for the insurance. They'll put it on hold. But if you only stay home for a week, then they'll charge you, because they usually charge us like, every week for the insurance.
I'm gonna ask more into that, man, because I always wanted to know more about leased on as well.
Yes.
First, let's back a little bit. Q, what made you go leased on?
Well, we got the idea from a friend that has I think about like 3 trucks now. Because I'm just like, I'm just gonna start off from like the beginning, how we got
Okay.
into shotting. So it was a good idea. Like, I saw him making money. I was like, okay, I think I might like something like this. So I told my girlfriend about it. We talked about it, and then we went to a CDL school. Both got our CDLs, and then I mean, I think we kind of rushed into it because we didn't save up enough money to get into the hot shotting.
It goes right.
The credit was good.
About it, man.
Both were good. Yes, both our credits were good. So we went to the bank, got some cash, went to the dealership, financed a 2024 Dodge Ram.
Okay.
Then the mistake I did too, I think I should have started off with the one with the with the bed behind. I got the one with the chassis cab, and then
I saw that. Yep.
$3,500. I went to North Carolina to get the bed installed from Hitchcrafters, and it was just crazy. And then we went to Oklahoma. That's where we got like a trailer that was discounted, which was the 2024 Big Tex.
Big Tex, yep.
Yes, because everywhere around the country it was expensive. We saw this one in Oklahoma, so we had to drive down there to pick it up. But yes, so like most of the money that we had that we was gonna use to start up our own company, our own authority, we used it for other stuff. So you guys can take this from me. Like, don't do the same mistake that I did. You got to save up as much money as you can to get into the business. When we got into it, like after spending all that money, we didn't even have money for like breakdowns.
Yeah.
Yes. And the first company, can I like throw names out here, man? The first company I got into, like, it was a mess. It was oh God. That company only cares about themselves. only about their
it goes back to what we just talked about it, man. You got companies, man, that's all about themselves. They gonna
some
play
good companies out here, but you got to do your research.
So how did you find the company that you got leased on to?
I mean, I just went online, like, looked it up, asked a couple of some guys that I usually talk to, and they were like, "Oh, there's a lot of people are saying this company is good, blah blah blah," and so on. So that's how I got in contact with them, From the jump, I should have known because when I called and like I was trying to like schedule an appointment like so I can speak to whoever the boss was or whatever. The guy was on the phone with like started like talking about some politics. I was like, bro, why are we even talking about this? That was a red flag. I should have just like hung up the phone. But I was like, you know what? Let me just go try this guy's out. And then I went over there. It was a mess.
Got you. Okay, so now us talking about insurance because we got comments, and I love the question about as far as with insurance, right? How does leased on deal? How do you deal with insurance as far as with leased on? Is there a premium initial payment that you're paying at the beginning when you go leased on? Do you have to have your equipment? Like, what equipment do you have to go leased on? Talk more about insurance and then the equipment, like truck, trailer. Do you have to have that, or can you just go with no equipment, no truck, no trailer, and just get leased on?
So, let's talk about the equipment first of all. So,
Okay.
for equipment, most companies have trailers for you. If you don't have a trailer, you can just bring your truck, and then they'll rent you their trailer.
Wow.
You can either rent it or you can rent to own. Like, what is it? Lease to own or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do that. So and pay weekly, which is some companies
Is
charge about $200 $300 a week.
is there like a credit check that you have to go through as far as for that lease to own with that company when you try to go lease on?
No credit check.
So guys, this right here is another way to get in the hot shot again without putting down a lot of capital. You know, that's another aspect there. I didn't even know as far as lease on that you can do rent to own with the company that you want to lease on to without a credit check and you just paying them. You say weekly, Q?
Weekly, yes.
So that's another way that you guys can get in the game.
The company I was with, $300 weekly.
$300 weekly. So we got a question here, and actually, I'm gonna read this comment real quick. So, Dylan, it was her idea to learn dispatch. Very supportive of this. I'm lucky in that aspect, and definitely, man, you're definitely that's it's a grateful aspect that you have, man, as far as with your wife, man. So definitely, man, God bless to you guys, man, and hopefully, Dylan, it all work out. We got money back again with another question. He says, "What's a good company to lease on with?"
So, I've only leased like the past 2 years that I've been doing Hotshot. I've only leased onto two companies. The first one, it was they lease on CDL and non CDL drivers. They even lease on like up to like semis and stuff.
Mm.
The second company, they only lease on CDL drivers.
Okay, and that's who you with now.
Yes, the company I'm with now, and they start you off with like 12%, and then you pay insurance, and then everything else you gotta like pay for. They'll get you like your portion plate if you're a CDL driver for sure, a portion plate. If they do the filing and everything, factoring for you. So,
and you said they start you with 12%.
12%. Yeah. As time goes on, I after about I think 6 or 7 months with them, I talked to one of the guys and then they got me down to 10%.
And you saying 12%?
Company I was with.
What is the 12%? What is that?
Oh, that's the so you take 90 and then they take 12%.
Got you. So that's the percentage that they're taking out of the loads.
Yes. Yes.
Got you. So for insurance, they take out 12% of each load to pay for your insurance.
No, so they for the dispatching, they take 12% for the dispatching, but you have to pay for insurance. Yes. So you 12%, and then I think like $300 or some with some change every week for the insurance. Because I was paying like $1,200 a month.
Okay, so $1,200 a month, which equivalent to $300 every week that they're taking out. So it's definitely cheaper than what. And again, the reason why I'm pretty sure that you're paying cheap.
It depends on the driving record and everything. And then
also they're putting it under their commercial policy, which it has multiple trucks on there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, and this is just for the guys, that's tuned in right now, is that what Q is saying is that, you have 12% for dispatching.
Yes, sir.
right? They taking out for that, and then you also have your insurance, which is $300 a week, which is equivalent to $1,200 a month for your insurance. Again, for me as a owner operator, your insurance. Again, I don't. I think I don't care where you at, what clean driving record you have. You're gonna be paying at least 2,000, at
Okay.
least 2,000 a month on an operator, just because you never drove a commercial vehicle before, right?
I think yes. I think that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair.
it's gonna be about $2,000 if you got CDL and all of that, and you've been driving for a company with CDL. Doesn't matter. You're driving your own vehicle now, and you put it on a commercial. Go ahead and
Yep.
expect at least $2,000.
I think the only reason why they did that for my equipment because like there was a lot of stuff that they asked me that they said, do you want to include this, and I was saying no to.
All right, and what's the?
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, well, he was just asking what's the company name. So
Oh,
what's the
I can
company
throw
name?
names out here, man. The company, a lot of people are hating on this company, but to be honest with you, I feel like these are this is one of the best companies, man. It's called Superior Transportation.
I heard of them.
Yes. A lot of people are throwing shades and say, oh, this company is not good, but Superior Transportation, INC, Superior Transportation, it's a good company, man. I've had some good experience with them. I'm not gonna lie.
And who was the first company? If those that don't have CDL and have non-CDL or semis, what's the name of that company?
It was Hotshot 107.
Hotshot
They're like
107.
one of the biggest. They're in Ohio.
Okay.
Hotshot 107, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I started off, like they taught me some stuff, but Hotshot 107 only care about their pocket, man. I am sorry. I had to say it.
All right. So for corn, how did you let your authority age while leased on? So money back. I never was leased on. I went straight owner operator. So I went owner
Man, you
operator.
did
Yeah, day one. So for me, man, I had the capital. So a little bit about my story, man, is that I was like I told you guys, I was working at a company. I was working from home. So I went from storefront to being promoted, working from home, went to a supervisor position. I was doing that for a little over a year, close to 2 years. I was doing that working from home. And one day, man, I woke up, got a phone call, and they were like, "Hey, the company's about to do a company-wide layoff."
Oh,
So,
man.
and I jumped into the meeting, and basically they were just letting us know, like, "Hey, we're gonna lay y'all off." And they were like, "Hey, we're gonna pay out a severance. We're gonna pay out a severance." At that time, I was strategic about the way I did vacation. So the way I did vacation, I would take vacation, and then of course, every pay period they would add 8 hours to your hours as far as for vacation time. So my vacation time would build back up right after I came off of vacation. It would build right back up to where I had all my vacation time. Well, when they made that announcement, I had all my vacation time saved up as well. And I also had my 401k. So I got 3 checks at the end of when they laid me off: my severance, my vacation time, and my 401k. So I got all 3 of those checks dispersed to me, to where I had, I already knew I was going to get in the hot shot because I told you guys I did a year of research before the whole layoff. So it really was like, man, it was like a blessing from God because literally, I didn't even know what Hotshot was. I literally just researched something for my wife, and Hotshot came up. It wasn't even what I was looking for her. Hotshot came up, yeah, and I was like, "What is this?" And I didn't know people were making money off of their own trucks, their own trailers. I always thought you had to go with a company,
It's
right?
definitely some money in Hotshot, man. Like you just
Yeah, man. So when I showed my wife, we
like put
started.
the work in. You have to put the work in. But it's
Yeah, so we started doing the research, and literally, man, like when after that year of us doing research, they did the layoff, and they told us about the layoff back in. They told us like I think in March. It was like March of 2023, and they let me work all the way until October 2023. So literally, like 9 months. So I was just literally every paycheck, instead of me waiting on my 401k severance and all of that to pay for my equipment, every paycheck up until the time I did that, I was investing into chains and buying the straps, 4-inch straps, lasso straps. I was making cones. I was doing everything, corner potato, everything. I was trying to invest every single paycheck and learning. And then from there, I was just learning. So I would take like Amazon boxes that I would order, and I would put it on the trailer, and I was securing it. That's how I learned how to secure. So I was just taking stuff from out the house, put it on my trailer, and securing it. While I was waiting 30 days for my authorities, I was driving my trailer, learning how to back up. Learning how to parallel park, learning how to turn around. I was doing all of that, waiting, and while I was working the job. That's literally how I did it. So just to answer your question, man, I never got leased on. Literally my authorities matured as I was going through the months. As I was going through it, that's how my authorities was maturing. And that's where it's at today.
That's the best way to do it, man. Once you have some money saved up, that's definitely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So now to talk more, so you went with Superior, right? You went right now, right?
I went with Hotshot 107 first.
Yep.
With no experience. Well, little to no experience because I had some when I went there. Yeah, went with them, and then it wasn't as good as I expected, so I had to switch over to Superior Transportation, and it's been good, man. No complaints.
Gotcha. So how does dispatching work for you? Does the Superior dispatch you? Is your wife dispatching? Are you dispatching yourself? How does dispatching work for you?
So after dispatching, Superior actually dispatch me. So they take care of the dispatching. I guess that's why they charge the 12%.
Mm-hmm.
So they do all the dispatching, and I mean, at some point in time, I literally asked them. I was like, man, I think I can do this for myself, but they were like, oh, because of company policies or whatsoever, they said we just gonna take care of this and make sure everything is good. But yeah, they do all the dispatching. All I do is drive.
Got you. And can you pick and choose your loads that they're dispatching?
Oh, definitely. They'll call you and be like, oh man, I see this little such and such, like it's paying this and this is the mileage. Do you want me to take it? You can say yes or you can say no, and then they'll be like, okay, I keep looking. Yes, ain't no force dispatching or none of that. But let's say if I'm like in a state where there's barely anything, and let's say around 12, 1 o'clock, you have no options at all. You're trying to get out of that area. You have to, just go ahead and accept it. But there's no force dispatching at all.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can say it's no as many times as you want to,
Yes.
and there's no pushback on it.
Yes, sir. You own your own equipment. You can say no or yes to the load. Yes, sir.
Got you. Okay. And then with Superior, you have to be CDL.
You have to be CDL with Superior. Yes.
Okay, guys. So just want to show that you have
And
to.
Superior is not the only company. I think they have another one that is called Carolina Logistics. They're all based in North Carolina, South Carolina, in that area. They have Carolina Logistics and then Superior Transportation.
So then with this, are there any loads that you get outside of Superior?
Outside of Superior, I mean, I think it was one load, and that load, I think somebody from it was one of my friends that gave it to me, and well, I didn't tell Superior that I was picking up the load. I just told him that, hey man, something happened to my truck, blah blah blah, which I'm not supposed to do. But yeah, no loads at all. I only had one.
Got you.
But Superior do all the booking.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me I'm gonna have you answer this question here from Moneybag.
Okay. I'm having issues finding a trailer. Are you a CDL? If you're a CDL, I have a trailer. My CDL setup. Or if you're non-CDL, you can use my trailer, but you have to use a truck with single wheels, not dual, because it will be heavy. I have a trailer for you if you do, because I'm trying to switch my trailer to something else. I'm trying to get a newer trailer. And this one, like I put it up for sale. Like I've been having guys lowballing me and stuff like that, but it's a good trailer.
Got you, Dave. Moneybag. So
here, man, if you want to contact me or whatever, but
there you go, Moneybag. So you have someone that you have Q that's offering his trailer. You can purchase his trailer. You guys can talk, negotiate, all of that. But I would just say, like,
answer his question. I said, like, just do your research, man, because I did a lot. Like I was like literally looking in every state. The only place that I can find a trailer that was discounted was Oklahoma. I had to drive a day and a half to go pick it up. You can look on Facebook Marketplace too. Like,
What's
don't send
the
nobody no like deposit or anything. Go check the trailer out and stuff like that. But they on Facebook Marketplace. They on Hotshot groups on Facebook. Just do your research. It's good
what's
trailer.
the what's the GVRW or GVWR?
It's 20 2,300 and it's I don't know. I don't know. I think it was 2,300. 23,900.
Moneybag can use it. Yeah. I'm not sure about Chicago's very own, but I'm not sure if you have CDL or not. But
Well, he said I have a class A CDL.
yeah,
Yeah,
so you could definitely use that.
and then I have some like straps and sliding rail what is it? Sliding C tracks or whatever they call. I have those as well. I have 10 new straps.
Okay, Chicago. He has okay non CDL. So yeah, man. And that's what I was gonna say, Dylan, as well. Is that of course, you want to buy new equipment. I don't know if you're trying to go to new or if you want to use used equipment, but Big Techs or I know Trailer World and things of that nature. Some they have deals as well.
Yep.
But definitely, used trailer. Of course, I don't know if you have like any equipment that you want to pair with that Q. Or is it just a trailer?
Oh no, yeah, I'm just trying to get rid of the trailer. I mean, you can have some of like my equipment like straps. I don't have chains or binders. I have triangles. I have what else do I have? I have a fire extinguisher. I have let me see here. I think that's about it. So,
What's the length of your trailer?
it's a 40. It's a 35 plus 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would say, man, is of course you can go with any trailer that you want to go with, but I would say, man, just to get the best and the most bang out of a trailer, I would definitely say, man, do a 35 plus 5, do a 40-foot trailer, and
Yes.
yeah,
I
and
agree.
if you got the money to go ahead and get mega ramps as well. I mean, you got guys that do straight deck. I had a straight deck when I first started, and I made money with it, but there was also loads I missed out on.
You definitely gonna miss out on a lot of loads. Yes.
Yep.
Most
So
loads are required for you to have a ramp.
yep.
We want you to
So
have ramp for sure.
pull out ramps are cool, but again, I had pull out ramps, so I did get lows with where it required 2 wheels to go up, and yeah, but if it was like a third wheel, like a tractor or something like that, or if it was I think it was a lawnmower. One time, a guy wanted me to pull out of Texas one day, and I missed out on that load because it had a third wheel, and I needed like a full set, like the mega ramps, and I missed out on it. So somebody else ended up getting it. So I would definitely say, man, get something with mega ramps if you can afford it. If not, if you
If you
just
can afford
start,
it,
yeah, man, you can work your
And
way.
I say with a 40, like let's say if you're like in a area there's like barely any good loads coming out, you can pick up something like a container if you have a 40.
Let's see. Can you make decent money with a 30
So
30 trailer? I'm gonna let you answer that one.
Yep. He said, "Can you make wait? Can you make decent money with a 30?" I mean, yes, you can. I've never owned one, but I know somebody that has one, and yes, you can. But you in the hot shotting industry, I'd say get how do I put this? I'd say get something that is gonna separate you from the like the other
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Like get a longer trailer so you can pick up more loads. Let's say if you have like a 40-foot container, if you have a 30-feet trailer, you're not gonna be able to pick up that container. Let's say if you have air rides, you're gonna be able to pick up air ride loads.
there you go.
They pay like a semi money,
Yep,
like $4 or
yep,
$5 a mile. If you
yep.
have hazmat, bro, most of these hotshot drivers, they don't have none of that. But if you have all of this stuff, you are good.
And piggyback off of that, Q is the same thing. So for me to answer that, I'm looking at this money back. You got CDL, right? So let's just say if you're using CDL, you're using your CDL by picking up heavier loads and getting, more things with a 30-foot trailer. You limiting yourself with a 30-foot. Can you make money? Yes.
Yep.
Now I feel like your question to me is kind of broad. So can you make money with a 30-foot? Yeah, you can make money with a 30-foot. But now how much money are you talking about making with a 30-foot is a different question,
That's a
right?
different question. Yes.
Exactly. So now, if you put like a price on it, like, can I make $10,000 a month with a 30-foot? It's gonna
Yeah.
be hard. It's gonna be very difficult to make 10,000 because it depends on what type of loads you're trying to pick up, and then how far you're trying to go to make $10,000. Are you trying to have, are you trying to see your family? Are you trying to be home some of the times out the month? If you're trying to make $10,000 a month or something like that. If you got CDL and you running a 30-foot trailer, you're limiting yourself. And to me, just like Q said, man, you want to stand out above the rest. There's a lot of people with 32s, 35s, 40s out there, and you out here with a 30.
With 30
Hell,
definitely.
you hindering yourself. So I would say, man, is get, like you said, what Q was saying, what I was saying earlier, is that you want to get things that's going to help you stand out. Air ride. A lot of people don't have air ride. I don't have air ride. Q, you got air ride? Exactly. You don't have air ride. The reason why is because air ride is expensive.
So if let's say if my I don't mean to cut you off, sorry.
No, go ahead.
My dispatcher like take off this day, and then I have a different dispatcher that don't know what I have. They usually call me all the time for air ride loads.
Yep.
And when I tell them I don't have it, oh man. And they're paying good. Air rides are paying
really good. I told you guys, man, there's air rides, where I'm from. Q, matter of fact, tell them where you where do you reside?
Oh, Virginia.
Okay, so he's in Virginia. I'm in Georgia. I've seen loads with air ride, 50 miles, local, Georgia loads, air ride, $1,000.
Yep.
Easy, and they'll sit on the load board.
Oh,
they will sit for hours because people do not have air ride. Mm-hmm. There'll be somebody that's possibly just dropping off a load or something like that. They'll finally call and be like, "Yeah, I can go ahead and get the load because I got an air ride trailer."
Yep.
That's how, and that's what we talk about. You want to stand out.
So
don't limit yourself by just getting a 30-foot trailer. Go ahead. I would say go ahead and get at least. I would say at least a 40. I would say go ahead and get a 40. That's that's the biggest. But if not, if you go with the next step down, maybe a 35, a 30 plus 5. Yep. Don't limit yourself though. But don't limit yourself. Get air ride. Get CDLs. Get your hazmat.
Richmond, Virginia, bro.
Yep. Let me see.
At some point in time, I was even like thinking about a 53. You can get up to a 53, man. Once you have your CDL, man, just get like, let's say, if you're going with a Dodge, get a 5500 so you can have bigger brakes or whatever and pick them more. Yeah.
So the reason why I don't want a 40-foot is because I have an F450 and I don't want to be over. You won't. Not with a CDL.
I think you will. Is it a
He has non-CDL. So even non-CDL. So with non-CDL, the only thing you want to look at is the gross vehicle weight of the truck and the trailer. I don't know what, I had another guy that messaged me in the comments. He was just like, I want to be 60 feet. And I was like, how can you get a 60-foot trailer? Like, do they make those 60-foot trailers? And he was just like, oh, I'm talking about my truck and my trailer. And I'm like, why are you worried about that? DOT is not worried about the length. The only thing they're going to look at is gross vehicle weight of your truck. They're going to tell you to open up your truck. They're going to look at the inside of your truck, see the gross vehicle weight. They're going to go to your trailer, look at the gross vehicle weight, and see if you're CDL or not CDL. Then they're going to ask for your license. See if you got Class A. They are not going to get a measuring tape and go out and see if you got 65 feet of length or nothing like that. The length that you don't have to worry about. Even Chicago very own, non-CDL, you don't have to worry about the length. I have a 40-foot. I have a 40-foot with my Ram, and I have a Ram 2500. I understand you have a 450. The only thing about your F450 is you got to look at the gross vehicle weight of your F450 with non-CDL and making sure that your trailer doesn't exceed 26,000 pounds. Long as it's that. I don't know what the F450 gross vehicle weight is, so I'm not sure. But if you get a trailer that's 40, you may either have to derate it, or just like I did when I bought my straight deck, it was only 14,000 gross vehicle weight. So you can do that. You possibly may have to do either a straight deck. I'm not sure if you can get mega ramps and then derate it. I'm not sure how that goes, but all you gotta do is worry about the gross vehicle weight. Don't worry about the length being over length. There's no over length.
When I did mine, I registered for the combination. I registered for 40,000, and I have not had any issues.
Yep.
And I picked up a load. I think the max I went was 20,000. I've done that twice. Over the at a weigh station, they checked everything, weighed me, and I was good to go.
Got you. I'm gonna give you this one as well. Is it good to find your lane and stay in it as far as running your routes?
You want to answer that?
It's another broad question that I'm gonna answer it the way I'm understanding it. So it says, is it good to find your own lane and stay in it as far as running your routes? I'm looking at it two kind of ways. So let me take it both ways that I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it one way as far as your find your own lane. So I'm looking at it like you got your destinations, right? You got like as far as, hey, I'm only gonna run southern, eastern regions, right? And that's fine, right? You can find that lane though. If you want to just work those, the Floridas, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Mississippi, South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessees, and stuff like that. That's fine. You can find your lane in that, and you can run it. There's nothing wrong with that. That's like I told you. That's what I've been doing for these last like 3 months. I really haven't been going far crazy out. Like I said, I've been to the Virginias, which y'all seen the video on that. Of course, I've been to Arkansas and all that. Those are about the longest routes I've been on so far, Kentucky and all of that stuff. But I haven't been like, crazy long distance where I wasn't able to drop the load off at least in either the same day or the next day, right? But then I'm looking at another way. Is like, is it good to find your lane and stay in it? Is that, are we talking about left or right lanes, type ways and running your routes? Yes, I would say as far as for truck drivers, if I'm answering your question correctly, for me, I stay in the right lane, far right lanes. I stay in that lane and I just keep going. The reason why is because, again, if you break down, you already in the furthest lane to go ahead and get over to where you can go ahead and try to fix your repairs, and you outside of the traffic. If you in that left lane running, especially that's the fast lane. So a lot of people gonna either try to disrespect you by cutting you off, getting behind you real close and crazy, honking their horn at you, flicking you off and all that stuff, man. So I normally try to stay away from the furthest fast lane, and also too, you can't get over. 9 times out of 10, you're not able to get over. You're gonna have to get over into the far right lane to service. Just like I told you guys, this past week I had a blowout on one of my trailer tires. I was already in the far right lane. I look back. You always want to check, make sure that your load is still on your trailer, making sure it's secure, flaps are not flapping. I look back, all of a sudden I see smoke. Wasn't expecting it. I'm like, where the heck is the smoke coming from? I looked at my tire, pulled over, tire blown, whole tire about to come off. So getting over in the far right lane, I had to go ahead and I changed the tire myself. I had to take the tire off, go to a tire place real quick. Went to a tire place, got a tire, came back again.
That's another thing. Yep. You got to know how to do the little stuff, man. Like changing tires and stuff. If you can't do that, I don't think this is the place for you. Like it's hotshotting is not a trucking in general. It's not a business for you. You got to know how to do your little maintenance, like changing your tire. Let's say not really changing your oil. I mean, you can take it if you want to save more money. Let's say if you want to save more money, then you can learn how to change your own oil. Because I do all that. I change my own filters, like my fuel filter, oil filter, oil change. I don't touch the transmission stuff. I take that to the dealership. But yeah, I ain't trying to mess nothing up. But yeah, you got to make sure you know how to do the basic stuff for sure to be able to save up as much money as you can.
He's saying, staying where the money is. Yeah, of course. Yeah. If you let's just say, Q, what's a good state that you feel like, man, like I'm always just getting good loads?
The state is Ohio. Good state, yep. Some places in Pennsylvania. Virginia, terrible.
Horrible.
West Virginia,
horrible.
So. Yes. Virginia, man, I hate this place, especially like coming home for 2 weeks and then trying to head back out. Oh God, I'm taking the most crazy ass load like I can find to get out of here. Cheap loads to get out of
Yes.
here, man. But once I get out of here, yeah, it's and we back.
So
But yeah, I'll
yeah,
say
so Ohio. So if you're saying like staying where the money is, right? If you want to work Ohio, right, I would get familiar. So I would, if you're gonna take loads there, get familiar with the routes, get familiar where cheap fuel stations are,
Yep.
right? Because you want to make sure that you know where the cheaper fuel stations are, which most of the time in the north is higher than it is in the south, right? So I don't know exactly where you at, Moneybag, but you know Ohio may not be the cheapest as far as with fuel, but again, they have the loads though. So if you're in a dead area, right, like my man Q was saying, Virginia, West Virginia. I don't normally like traveling there too much. One is because it's very hilly. There's mountains, especially in West Virginia. You got a lot of mountains, a lot of inclines. You're gonna see. You're gonna see a lot of trucks break down. You're gonna see a lot of hazard lights on, going through those because there's some serious inclines that you're going on, and you're trying to pull, 8,000, 9,000 pounds, non-CDL. Now, if it's CDL, you got 16,000 pounds. You're trying to pull up these hills in your Cummins or in your Fords and your GMCs and all of that. So it's tough, and it's going to bring down on your fuel as well. So if you coming out of Virginia and you going to Ohio, yes, work Ohio. Do that for however long it is, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, or whatever, and then come back home with those funds, and then you scheduling back out your routes to go back to Ohio. So yeah, definitely staying in your lane, like you said, staying in a certain area where the money is, working that area, and then coming back. Absolutely, yeah, nothing wrong with that. Let's see, man. I'm gonna take a few more, man. It's getting late.
Yeah, it is, man.
Dylan, let's see. Do they? Let's see, Dylan. Do they have a website? I'm gonna let Dylan answer that. Let's see. What's the hot areas you notice and what's cold? All right, Q. I'm gonna let you answer that one, man. What states? And I'm assuming he mentioned the states. So what states do you feel like are hot? What states? Give them like three of each.
I'd say Pennsylvania, Ohio for sure.
Hot.
Let me see. I mean, I've never booked a load, so I'm just like, this are the places. Like whenever I'm here, I get a good load from. I get from $2 and up to $3. Sometimes even $4.
I got. So I'm gonna answer this as well, right behind you. Give them one more hot state that you feel like.
But yes, I'd say Ohio, Pennsylvania. I think Illinois and Indiana. I'm not sure though.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. I don't know about those ones, but yeah, Ohio for sure. Ohio for sure.
Got you.
What do you think though? Like, since like you've been booking loads and stuff.
What's the cold states that you got? We got Virginia.
Yes, Virginia. I'd say North Carolina too. Yeah, I don't like going over there as much.
Where at?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay.
Yeah. Up north, I'd say well, I don't even know if that state is in the north. Is Wyoming in the north?
Yes.
Up there somewhere? Yeah, I don't like going over there. There's nothing going on over there.
All right. One more.
The Dakotas, North Dakota, South Dakota. What is it? This state.
Yeah, I got a different list than you got, but go ahead.
Okay. Minnesota's pretty good.
Minnesota. Oh wow. Yeah, okay. I never been there.
Wisconsin is pretty good.
Wisconsin is pretty good. Okay.
Michigan, not so much. It depends on where you are in Michigan.
Got you.
Indiana, Illinois, Iowa. Iowa's pretty good too.
Okay.
Well, no, I take that back. No. I think that's about it, man. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Florida. Don't go to Florida.
There we go. All right. That's the one I had. That's the one I had.
Going to Florida is good. Coming out of Florida is terrible.
That's the one I had. Yes. Terrible. That's the one I had. So my hot states, or where the money is for me is Georgia. I always where I reside at is Georgia. I'm able to come out of Georgia so nice, man. I can either get local loads or I can either go over the road, and I'm always getting y'all see my videos, man. Y'all see, on y'all, $3 a mile I'm getting, or I'm getting, $5 a mile. I just got I'll show y'all this. I haven't posted this video yet, but I got $40 a mile.
$40.
I got $40 a mile. I'm gonna show you guys. I got a video. I haven't edited it yet. I'm gonna show you guys a $40 a mile load. And honestly, this load was only 3,600 pounds. 3,600 pounds. And the reason why, I'll tell you this. This is what I had to do for this load. It was more than whatever I ever had to do for the load. The one thing is I had to have a TWIC card. So I had to have a TWIC card, right? Had to have a clean background. And I had to have 2 forms of ID, which driver license and TWIC card.
Yeah.
I also had to take a test for this load.
Oh.
So this was an airport. This was an airport load. It was like an aircraft. It was like aircraft parts, engine parts, right?
Yeah.
They had it in this crate and all acting like it was Secret Service type of stuff, right? But for this load, I had to do. There was like a PowerPoint that they had, and basically the PowerPoint was about securing aircraft equipment and basically their rules and regulations. So it would have like, certain safety vests that people would wear. You want to be cautious of these type of people. It would say the speed limit that you want to drive, the cones that they would have, what securement items that you want to use, how you supposed to be dressed when you go to these job sites. And you would answer questions in between. And I would say the PowerPoint was probably anywhere from 25 to 30 pages of a PowerPoint. And then at the end, I had to do a 10-question test, and you have to pass, and you get a certificate. They email you a certificate, and you had to email that to the broker. And once the broker saw that you passed, then they sent you the load and all this. And then it came with all these. It wasn't just a regular Raycon sheet. No, you had to have like this number for this. You had to have like shipments and because you had to put like your own shipments. You had to like print them out. Well, they printed it out, and then you had to put it on the actual aircraft thing, man. It was a lot. It was very intricate, like it was Secret Service that you was working for, but it was cool though. It was cool. Yeah, man, they paid me $40 a mile, and I only went.
It was worth it though. 40,
and it was 10 miles. Only 10 miles. Only 10 miles. So 10 miles, $40. So $400. $400 for 10 miles, $40 a mile, guys. And I recorded the whole, showing you guys exact. It's not 10.1 distance away, not 9.9 distance away. It was exactly 10 miles from where I picked up at. I'll show you guys. I'll probably drop it next week or week after next or something like that. We're on vacation right now, so because we actually, yeah, man, $40 a mile. So I'll give you guys Georgia, Texas. Texas is a good state.
No,
Texas has been good to me, man. Texas is a good state. And you said North Carolina was a bad state for you, but it's a good state for me.
It's so it depends. Some days are good, some days are bad. But Texas,
I haven't had nothing. I really haven't had no bad. I would say I came back one time on a load, man. It was only, now granted, it was only like 80 pounds. That they wanted these little plastic little pipe ship to Georgia. It went back to Georgia. It was a 4-hour drive, but they paid me like $1.20 or something like that. But again, it was a light load though. It was only like 60 pounds. But that was probably like the cheapest load I took out of there. Other than that, man, I get paid really, really good out there in North Carolina. South Carolina, not as much. I like North Carolina than South Carolina. I'll give it that. Okay. Right. So those are my 3, I would say, hot states. But I would also agree with you. Ohio is a great area too. So I'll add a 4th one. I would add. I just don't go there as much, but I would say I have been there, and every time when I did go, it was great. I always got good loads. I would also say Oklahoma is another good state. Oklahoma and Arkansas. Arkansas is another good state.
I got some good loads in Arkansas.
I got some good loads coming back. I got paid $1,700 one time to come back, and I think I got another like $2,300 to come out of Oklahoma one time. So good loads out there, Arkansas and Oklahoma as well. And I'll say I gave 5. So cold states for me, I try to avoid. Florida at all costs.
Yep.
Again, as I told you guys,
It's good going in, coming back out, it's terrible.
yeah. So I would have to get a full round trip. So
Yep.
full round trip is anywhere from like 18 to 2,000 to go there, and then I'm fine deadhead and back. Because it's gonna be really cheap. You'll see some really disgraceful loads out there. It's really gonna be like, man, y'all really playing with me. Charging 23 cents a mile to come from Miami, Florida, all the way up. They want you to go to Tennessee, paying 23 cents a mile. So you're gonna really find some disgraceful loads out there, and that's what we're talking about. And again, like I said, all you're doing is going north and south. That's it. There's no surrounding state beside it, like Alabama or Georgia. You can go, north, south, east, west. You can't do that you can't do that in Florida. It's only going north once you come out. So yeah, that's a cold state. Virginia, again, that's another cold state, I would say. And then Kentucky. Kentucky it's not good. Going there is fine. Coming back, 14 loads and like I said, maybe 4 of those loads are duplicates. So that's what you'll see a lot, man, is that brokers will feel like, oh, nobody saw this load, so they'll post it again and they'll post it again, and to say like, oh, surely somebody saw it by now, so they'll post that same $400 load going from Kentucky to Florida, $400, and they'll post it like 4 times, over and over and over again. And then after an hour go by, 30 minutes go by, they'll post it again another 4 times, and then they may go up $25, $425 now. So you're gonna see that again and again and again, and then eventually they'll just settle $600. It may be, So yeah, I would say Kentucky, I would say Miami, but Florida, and then I would say Virginia. I don't really, Virginia. I can go there, go to like Richmond or something like that, making like $1,000, $1,100. But then coming back, man, I can't find nothing. Come back, man. So yeah, those would be my cold. Those would be my hot states, and then my cold states. Yes, Maryland is very expensive. You are definitely right about that. He said, yeah, Google Big Tex World. That's where I bought my trailer at. I went to Big Tex World here in Georgia, and that's where I bought mine. And the first trailer I bought was at Ward Brothers. Ward Brothers had a $5,000 deal. They took off on that straight. That's why I went there. Let's see. Google Happy Trailers. Yep. Happy Trailers is also a good one as well. Absolutely. Thanks for that. Yep. Absolutely. Let's see, Coin. Do you know a few brokers besides TQL that work with new authorities? I have a list, man. I have to go through because the phone that I'm recording on right now is the same one that has the list. So I would have to either like do a video showing you like the ones that we got that work with day one, and I'll send that over to you guys. I actually, you know what, Dylan, my bad. No. Go to my video. There's a video I did, Dylan. It's called hold on, let me go to it. I'm gonna post it on the screen here. And then, man, we gotta get out. Man, it's almost 3:00. I gotta get up out of here. What time is it over there, Q? Where you at?
9 at 3:00, yeah.
3:00 still? Okay. Yeah. All right, so all right. Dylan, I don't know if you can see this, but this video here is called Must Watch. It says important information and tips before starting Hotshot in 2024. It says startup for owners. This right here, I just literally sat down in my studio, and on there I gave 5 brokers that work with day one authorities. If you go through that, you can probably have to click through it because I think it's closer to the end of the video. But on there, if you watch this video, must watch before starting Hotshot in 2024, you probably have to go down a few videos, but you should see it. I posted on there 5 brokers that work with you day one. Go on there and you'll see what I'm talking about. I think it's closer to the end though. So good question. Let me get through a few more. 10-4, thanks for bud. That would be cool. Absolutely, Dylan, man. Yeah, just go through that video and you definitely will be able to see it. We also got a private. All right, cool. Got that already. Already answered that. All right, Q. I think we answered all the questions in the in the comment section, man. So says you're a rock star. Got you. Appreciate it, Dylan. So yeah, Q. Again, what is it? What else about Lease On that you feel like people that don't know should know? As far as what Lease On.
Let's see. From what I experienced, I say if a company, are you leasing on any drivers?
Before not yet. Yeah, not yet. No, I'm not yet. 2020. So 2026, we're looking to do our first lease on.
Okay. How much are you going to be? I don't mean to get in your business or anything. I don't know if you want to disclose that out there. But how much are you willing to charge them? What's your percentage?
So for us, this is the way I look at it. So if they bring their own equipment, right? They bring their own equipment, and let's just say if we have to dispatch them, because I will give them the option if they want to dispatch themselves,
okay,
or if they want us to dispatch. If we dispatch, it's 15%.
Okay.
Right? It's 15% for us to dispatch, and they keep the rest of their money.
Okay.
Right? As far as for insurance, again, kind of the same way, but it wouldn't be weekly. They would pay their insurance monthly. Yep, they will pay it monthly as far as for insurance. But again, we'll give them the option. So we wanted the person to feel more freedom, more like an owner operator being leased on, as opposed to just this is our way. We're gonna do it, but it's more your option that you gotta have. So if they want to do weekly, they can say, hey, I had my last company did weekly, they'll do weekly. But for us, we want to do monthly, but then we charge just 15% just for dispatching. Now, if they don't have their equipment, right? Let's just say, like, if I purchased a box truck or if I purchased another Hotshot, then I would pay that person hourly. So they would get hourly. I would pay, I would pay for everything. So the truck payments or the trailer payments and all that, the insurance, we pay for everything, but we just pay them hourly wage. And it'll probably be like $25 an hour, something like that. Right? Okay. And then they run however they want to run. That's what we're looking at right now as far as just from what we've been reading. So again, we still developing that plan, but that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay. Hey, I think that's a good move right there, man. What was this?
So
to answer your question, first of all, I think weekly paying insurance weekly, I think it's better in my opinion, because let's say if you gross, let's say if your insurance is $2,000, and and then you gross, let's say $5,000 for this week. If you're doing weekly payments and you only took like $300 for like this for the insurance, I think it would be better to have more money in your pocket than doing it monthly. Let's say if you have a few weeks to the month and then you went out and made and grows 5,000 this week, and then you had to pay 2,000 out of that for insurance, unless if you've been saving for that insurance. But
right.
Let's say you use all that money for, like, let's say gas or whatsoever, and then you had to take $2,000 to pay for that insurance. It's just crazy to me. I don't know.
So the reason why we're looking at it from an owner operator, that's the way. You don't pay it weekly. You don't pay insurance weekly. You can put it aside weekly, and then let it move. Yeah, you put $500 aside. Your insurance is $2,000. You put $500 aside each week, then you got that money set aside to pay. But for owner operator, you paying that insurance every month. So I'm trying to go ahead and program you, because again, like I told the people before, is that for us, when we got in this game, we got in it to help others, right? Of course, we want to make money, right? To provide for the family, to do the things that we're doing now, to have a lifestyle that is, that we can obtain. But the main goal for us is to help others as well. And that's why I said I never want to treat people like, their minds or their property or their a number or something like that, right? Like, I want to treat you as an owner. I want to treat you as someone that's going to lead somebody else into the same thing that we doing, if not even better than what we did it. So I'm already looking at you as an owner operator. So when you come, let's just say when we start lease when we start doing lease on, I'm already looking at you like, hey, this is the way insurance is going to set you up,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you're going to have to pay this every month, but you're going to have to be strategic with your money, right? So again, like you said, right? And weekly, it probably is better, right? Because you're seeing of course, people want to see least money come out of their account as opposed to one chunk, one lump sum coming out of their account. Like, dang, man, that's 2,000. That's a whole lump sum that came out as opposed to just 300 that came out. So I
I think
definitely
I only said that because I've been like the for the 2 years I've been at least that's like the way I've been paying insurance. But you got a good you give a good point.
Yeah, so I wanted you to already be kind of like, I guess, programmed or kind of like already channeling once you come out from being leased on and doing your own thing that, hey,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm already be doing this,
Okay.
paying monthly every single month as
Yeah.
opposed, to that. So yeah, that's the reason why we are gearing towards that. But again, we gonna have the option, right? We're gonna allow a person to have that option saying, hey, which one would you be fine with? Would you want to pay weekly or would you rather pay monthly? The way we pay it is monthly as owner operators. I'm already looking at you as an owner operator. Would you want to pay monthly or you want to pay weekly? And then again, the pay structure. Because there's a guy I'm talking to right now. I'll give you this cue. There's a guy I'm talking to right now, man. I met him at a job site. He was picking up and he was working for a company,
Mm-hmm.
right? He had just a regular flatbed, just a regular, freight liner with a flatbed. He was picking up some material for, and I was picking up some fabric in my Hotshot. And man, he got out his truck. He ran over to my truck. He was like, "Man, like I said, my trailer was brand new, so I had just bought it. I think, man, it's probably like, I don't know, my 10th load I got, so it still didn't really have the scratches like that. Still clean and all that or whatever. So he was like, man, I love this trailer, man. This is a great trailer. I mean, I love your whole setup. He was like, man, how'd you get in it? Same thing. I'm pretty sure you get the same thing when you go to these jobs. Like, man,
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
asks you young, how'd you get in it and all this other stuff.
All the
Anyway,
time.
man, like a long story short, he was like, man, my dream is to get in the hot shot. That's my dream. That's my goal. And I was like, kind of the same thing. Like, what's your capital looking like? What's your finances? How much this company you pay? You getting paid with? And man, he wasn't making no money, and he was
Okay.
getting paid hourly. And he was an older guy, and he not even making $20 an hour.
Oh.
And again, he drives locally every day. That's one of the luxuries that he loves about the job is he only drives in Georgia. He'll go to Savannah. He may touch the top of Tennessee or something like that, but he's home every day. So I was like, man, in this hot shot, you ain't gonna be you're not gonna be home every single day, bro. So anyway, man, I'm still talking to him to this day, right? And his credit ain't really where he really wanted to be at.
Yeah.
He don't have no money saved because he's not really making money. He really living just paycheck to paycheck. I was telling him, some resources as far as for him to be able to get financing, even from where he's at right now, as far as with credit and his income.
Mm-hmm.
And he reached out to him, and they basically said, yeah, like you can do it, but it's gonna be at a high interest rate. So he was like, man, I think I'm gonna hold off. So I was like, all right. So I was just like, hey, man, this is the thing though. I'm there to purchase something else, right? I'm right there to pretty much do it. But the thing about it, I want to continue to build. I want to have those savings to where, like, if anything happened, man, like you'll be fine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was like, man, I'm gonna give you the option is this, man. If you go through it yourself, this is what I would be. Same thing I told you, it'd be 85 and 15.
Yep. I think that's a good deal.
If not, man, then I would pay you. I'll pay you way more than what they paying you. I'll pay you way more. And the thing about us, and again, guys, this is another thing I want to add to this conversation as well, is that with our business, we already set up payroll. So we have a payroll service already, and we paying ourselves as employees. Me and my wife, we already set up with a company that's where I literally just go in and put the hours, and the system does everything else, and it pays our taxes.
Wow.
So we don't have to worry about taxes at the end of the year, paying taxes or anything like that. all we do is going to put our expenses and everything, but our taxes will already be taken care of. That's another thing as far as business, as far as scaling up and implementing other things in there to kind of relieve you from doing those things. But it took time for us to do that. So again, we got in this last year, and I said, man, last year I don't want that to happen again, where we have to, pay taxes at the end of the year. I want to be able to where I can pay taxes every single, every time we get paid. I want that to go towards, the taxes or whatever, so where we can, expense these things and be able to get money back. So we implemented payroll. So I told him, we've been doing payroll for a few months now. 2026, we're gonna continue to see how this payroll thing goes, and then from there, what we'll do is, if you don't get your truck, then I'll go ahead and I'm looking to go ahead and purchase. I don't know if a box truck or if I want to go with, but if I do the box truck, I definitely want to do air ride. I definitely want to do with a lift gate and all. I want to make sure that it has every single thing that I'm gonna be ahead of the curve with, to where I can make money, and then we'll dispatch them and everything, and then do 15% with them. If we get the box truck ourselves, like I said, we'll do hourly for him until he, is able to get his own, and then from there we'll do 85-15. So I said, man, the power is yours, bro. Whatever you want to do, but that's what we're looking at now, man. We're looking to just do just one driver though. I'm not looking to get 5. Yeah, I ain't trying to scale up. I seen people fail so much, man, doing that. So I say, man, just one person. We trying to do little by little, man. Help one person, see how we can help that person out, and then from there, man, hopefully he can help somebody else out, and then it spreads from there. But yeah, man. So that's what we're looking to do right now, man, to help, man, our guy out, man. But I would say this, man. Last thing though is this something that I want to know on the leased on. So again, you guys, you don't pay any premium, like I was telling the people, like, man, like they go get these quotes for $7,500, $8,000. There's none of that. So again, guys, leased on is a great option if you want to get started and you don't have that capital for the premium. What about like DOT, MCs? What about that? As far as for leased on, do you have to have that? Does the company do that for you guys if you want to go leased on?
The leased on the company. So you're leasing on to their company. So basically you using the equipment, you using the MC, you using the DOT. If you're CDL, you're using their portion plate. You only use your plate for your trailer, but you using their plate. Unless if you have your own portion plate already, then they can just add it to the system. But if you don't have that, they'll get it for you. But yeah, you using the EOD everything, and then they're booking loads for you. Or some companies like let you book your own loads for sure. And So
you can literally just bring just your truck. Do you need securement items?
That's it.
So no securement items. They'll give you the securement.
No securement items. Yeah, you have to provide your own, have your own securement items for sure.
Got you. So let me ask you this, Q.
Yes.
How much would you say? Because you told us about your truck. You got a 2024 truck.
Is it?
Your trailer. How much was your trailer, and how much was securement items? In total?
I think it cost me about. With everything. So I was on the road with my girl. So to make sure she's like comfortable, it cost me about $3,000 or so, like 3,500 to get her comfortable. And then with my chain, binder, tarps, and stuff like that, it got some point in time. I heard you say they stole your tarps. They did that to me too, man. I was parked somewhere. They stole my tarps. Them tarps are expensive. I had to get some new ones. Yes, they had to get some new tarps, man. But yeah, around 3,000.
Yeah, the same here. So yeah. So again, if you guys finance your truck, I don't know, what people credits looking like or whatever, but I'm just talking to the people that's in the comments that's been asking. You can literally go get a truck finance, put no money or to little money down, depending on what your credit looking like, and then you'll spend again. I spent around 3,000, if not a little more. Same thing with Q. Q said he spent about 3,000 or 3,500. As far as with securement, we're talking about chains, binders, straps, and all of this, whatever, tarps, and all of those things, right? Get you going. And I got, again, I think Q, do you have a video on securement? Like,
I do have a video. I think this was viewed on my channel.
Yep. So Q got a securement CDL.
Check that video.
And he got all the securement that you need. I have a non-CDL for securement. You guys can go for that.
I even partnered up with
Mighty.
Mighty Products. Yes,
Yeah.
you can click on my link and get some discounts. Yes.
There you go, man. There you go. So you get discounts at his store. So you guys can hit up Q for that discount as far as with Mighty. I use Mighty products as well. My tarps come from Mighty. I think my straps come from Mighty. A lot of the stuff, corner protectors and all that stuff, all that comes from Mighty.
Yeah.
So man, definitely, man. So hit up Q as far as for that discount if you guys want to get into it. But again, like I told you guys, a truck, diesel truck, whatever's to your liking or whatever, whatever you guys want to purchase, securement items, and you can go leased on route. And it's Superior. What is it again, Q?
Superior Transportation.
Superior Transportation is the leased on company he went with. He said he's fine with them. Little money, but you do got to have CDLs if you want to go that route.
CDL.
Got to have CDLs. You can't come non-CDL. If they want to go non-CDL, what's the company?
You can do your own research, man, but I would not. I would not recommend. A lot of I don't know. Most people are saying like Hotshot 107 like us being good to them. Personally, not to me. I am sorry, bro. I don't know what I was doing to them guys, but yeah, they was cooking me, man. Like I was not making no money, bro. They only like focusing and they make sure they got their own pockets. I mean, they make sure they squeeze you dry, get every single dime off of you.
Wow.
Yep.
So yeah, man, do your research.
One time I ran into like some type of issue. So like once we booked this load, the broker told me that we can't partial the load, but we can't. I spoke with my once we booked the load, the broker said we can partial the load, and then for some reason the load got canceled. And then we booked another load. Once we booked this other load, I went and picked up that load, and then all of a sudden, this broker was like, "Oh, can we do this?" So, my dispatcher booked the first load that got canceled or not. So we booked that load again. I hauled that load all the way up to New Hampshire or something. I think that was a state. And I don't know. One thing led to another. The broker said how he told us now we wasn't supposed to partial that load in the first place. Blah blah blah. And then they took, I think, half of that money. They were paying me $2,000. Man, they took one. I don't know. It's on my channel. I posted something on my channel, and then as like, let's say as a partnership, Hotshot 107. Okay, the broker already took their money. Like, I feel like if I was like listening on guys, like I'm not gonna charge them like the same because they were charging me 30%. If they already took their money, I'll probably make sure I took 15% out of that money that's left. But they still charged me 30% out the money that was left. And that was, it sucks. It sucks. They were just like, looking into the,
and see,
get the money that they want, man, out of you.
These are some of the things that, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because now people can hear some of the things that you go through, some of the things that we went through, and stuff that you go through in Hotshot. And this is what people will say, like, man, there's no money in Hotshot because this broker did this, or I went leased on and this person did this, and that's the reason why they didn't make money. There was a guy, man, I met in I had drove to Kansas City, right? I had dropped off in Kansas City, and we had it was like somewhere, some countryside of Kansas City, somewhere in Kansas, my bad. And we had my wife ended up booking another loading, Wichita, Kansas. So I go drive after the drop off. I drove close to where the pickup was. Yeah. So I drive him, and the Hotshot guy had parked right there where I was parking at, and he got out his truck, and he had CDL, got out brand new Cummins, man, 2024, brand new Big Techs, man, nice setup. And he got out, he telling me like, man, turn your wheel this way, turn your wheel that way. And I'm like, man, who is this guy, man? Like, I got it, man. Like, anybody ask you for help. So he get out and he telling me like, man, what is this load? Where you picking up? I said, I'm picking up in Wichita tomorrow. He said, let me see your BOL. I show him my BOL, and I was getting paid $11.50 on my load, right? From Wichita to Kansas. I mean, to Texas. And I posted this load in the shorts, and my shorts I showed where it was CDL, non-CDL. right? And I made it like a versus, but really it wasn't about that. I just did that just just for people to get into the short. Anyway, he had his load was 16,000 pounds, and he had two generators, and they were filling it up with diesel in the generator. So he was like, man, they about to put me overweight because I think I can carry only 16.5. So he said they put that in.
He was CDL, you said?
Yeah, he was CDL.
Oh, okay.
So he he asked them, he was like, did y'all empty the generators out? And they were like, yeah, well, there's no diesel in them. Anyway, he was like, I was like, man, let me see, what are you getting paid on this? And he said, I'm getting paid $12.50. So I said, hold on, you got CDL and you only getting paid $100 more than me, and we going to the same drop off. So the Raycon sheet that I got was the same company that he had. It looked exactly the same. Only thing was different was that he had generators and I had like some scissors or something like that or whatever. And it was 5,000 pounds I was carrying. So I was just like, man, like, how are you running your business? Did you negotiate? He said, nah, I ain't negotiate. He said, I literally just took whatever and I said, man, we negotiate everything.
Yeah, you got to negotiate. I don't care if the load is paying $2 and up to like close to $3. You have to say something.
You gotta say something. Like, is there any wiggle room? Is there anything you guys can do? The load, what? I want this. Can you guys do this for me? If y'all paying 800 or y'all paying 1,000, 1,200, whatever, hey, can y'all do 15? No, we can do 14.
Actually, $15.
Yeah, you asking more, and then I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, I can't do this, but I can do this.
Yes.
Or they're gonna just be like, yeah, well, hold on, let me talk to somebody right quick, and they're not talking to nobody. They'll email somebody or something like that. Hey, my boss or whatever. Hey, can we do 15 on this load? Yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. Yeah, my boss said he can do it. Can you pick up? And then they'll start being adamant about it. Hey, can you pick up today? Are you empty right now? What time can you drop off? If you're trying to get 15. So, you just got to, do that. But dude just did. He was not running. He just literally was just winging it. He literally just got a truck trailer and thought he could just, all the loads are just going to come to him.
Yeah.
So yeah, man. And I don't know. I don't think he's still in it now. I don't think he is.
A lot of guys that we started together, they already quit, man.
Yeah, man. There was a guy, man, and shout out to him, man. I won't say his name on here, but he just got out, man. He was a good guy, man. He's a good guy. He was one of the guys I seen. He was setting up, and this is when I was working the job. I went to him, and I told this was I was doing a year of research. Again, you can read the books, watch the videos, but it's nothing like talking to somebody, face to face, that's doing Hotshot. So I saw him. I was at a gas station. He was getting, doing his pre-trip and all this or whatever. And I went to him and I asked him a question like, hey, tell me about Hotshot. And he literally, man, we sat there for like 2 hours and he was telling me the whole rundown about Hotshot. And this was over a year ago. And literally, man, he told me the other day, he was like, man, I'm about to get out.
Oh man.
Yep, 2 years, man. Clean authority and everything, man. I mean, clean everything, and just due to some physical health, man.
Okay.
He had to take care of himself, man. So yes, just some physical thing. His eyesight is what it is, man. His eyes was going bad, so he was like, I can't really see. So he had to get surgery. But man, he said, man, I'm about to liquidate. So the reason why I brought that up was that the tarps that they stole, I told him, I was like, man, I was in Kentucky, man. They stole my tarps. And literally the next week, he called me. He was like, hey, man, I got 2 tarps. Yep. He was like, tarps, man. Just give me a little something, man. And man, you can have these tarps. I'm about to get out the business. And literally, bro, I ended up paying for 2 tarps. I had a 6-foot and a 4-foot drop, man. I got right back.
That's crazy.
Yep. So also, man, he's selling his trailer too. He has he has CDL, so he got a big text as well, man. A lot of people, man, like I said, man, they getting out, man, and it's a great opportunity, man, for people that want to get a trailer.
It is a great opportunity. I say check marketplace. You'll get a lot of cheap stuff, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, equipment too. A lot of people, man, they got all, they get out the business. Hey, I did it for 6 months, it didn't work out, and now I'm selling my tarps. That's 6 months tarps that barely got used. Chains and binders that barely got used, and they selling all that $3,000 equipment for $1,000.
Yep.
It's a great way to reach out to people and be like, hey, let me get the whole bundle that you got. Corner protectors, chains and binders, the dunnage. I want all of that, man. And I'll give you this amount. I can't give you 3, but I'll give you a 1,500, 1,000 or whatever, and just see what people go for. They want to get rid of it and get their money, some of their money back.
They
They'll
want to
go.
get some of their money back. So definitely they're gonna say yes to that.
Yep. Q, anything else, man, you got, man?
I mean, to be honest, man, if I would start a Hotshot 107 from scratch, man, to be honest, like I'm just going out there and say this. If I don't have the money for the truck, okay, the truck I'm gonna finance it, but the trailer, like try to save up as much money as possible, bro, before you got into the business. If I'm like, starting all over, I'll pay for the trailer cash.
Yes.
I am sorry. I'm paying for that trailer cash just so I can have that trailer's payment off of my back.
Yep.
And then if you can try to save up some money for gas too. You got to make sure you save up some money for your fuel. And then, just in case something happened for like your little maintenance and stuff like that. But yes, you got to make sure you save up. Save up, save up, save up.
Man, 100. And like I told you, man, Q, going back on the question, how much would you say is enough?
It just depends. To be honest, it depends, man. Let's say what do you like? Saving up after you already got your trailer?
Yeah, we talking about after everything. You already paid for your insurance. Let's say, yeah, you already got. Let's just say leased on you in your situation. You got leased on to Superior, right? You got your CDL. You already got your truck. You got a trailer, finance, right? You already got your securement items and all of that. You got everything already out the way, and I'm ready to start rolling day one. How much do I
need to be safe? To be safe, I'd say like $7,000 to $10,000.
All right, you saying the same thing I said then.
$7,000 to $10,000. You got to save up. You got to just have that just in case something happens, because you might have a truck that the transmission might just
there you go,
bro. And if you don't have some money to, or you don't have some type of warranty to have that fixed, man, you're out the game.
That's right.
Yes, you got to have at least 7 to 10.
And again, transmissions, man, and I say, man, I just say from my experience, Ram, they were on back order. So they were on back order, and so you couldn't just go to Dodge, you couldn't just go to some mom and pop transmission shop, and man, back order. Man, we were going around when we broke down with our transmission. Man, we were going around and we had to go online. So we didn't get a chance to even see the transmission before we purchased it.
Oh, good.
You get what I'm saying? And you spending thousands, like I told you, $7,500 you got to pay up front for the transmission, $7,500. Then they saying once you then they got to ship it to you. So you already know that's going to take a while because it's the weight, right? So somebody got to carry this big old transmission, cranes or whatever it is that they got to do to get this thing shipped from state to state.
From state to state.
And at that point or whatever, you got to find the right mechanic that's going to be able to translate it out. Once they change it out, you got to put the old transmission back in, ship it back out before you get your core back. The core was $2,000. So you got to wait for all that whole process for you to get your $2,000 back from the $7,500 that you just spent.
Yeah.
So but where I'm getting at, you got a commission unless you got another truck.
Sure.
You got a commission that whole time making no money.
Yep.
Where that $10,000 come from. So yeah, you bought the transmission. That's $7,500 out of that $10,000.
And if something like that happened and you have your own authority, you have to pay for that insurance.
Oh, there you go. You got to pay for your insurance.
Cancel that insurance, you're going back to square one.
You revoke. Yep. So now, and they see it. As soon as they pull up your MC, the first thing they ask, what's your MC? I mean, as soon as you try to book a load, what's your MC?
What's your MC number?
Type your MC number in, and they see insurance. Hold on. Did you lapse? What happened to your insurance right here? It lapsed back in May. Yeah, we had a transmission issue. Okay, yeah, and you just started back up, right? You just got insurance, and then they're gonna ask you again, what happened to your insurance? All right, well, we can't use you for this load. Why? Because you ain't 90 days, because you ain't 180 days, because you're not 240 days. So it's like I said, that's the nature of the business, though. So you want to make sure that you have that money saved up. you continue paying the insurance while you out of the business, unless you got something else, like you got another business.
Sorry, another thing that can save you a lot of money too, if you have a auxiliary tank.
Yes,
because you can fill up in a cheap state, going into an expensive state. Man, going to New York, I don't have an auxiliary tank, and I always get pissed off whenever I'm up there. Like, gas is like $5-6 a gallon, man.
Yep.
Yeah. But
so yeah, honestly, that's something, man. That's something. Honestly, I could get. It's all to me. It's about the timing, though. The timing when I get it, So right now,
that's a non-CDL.
Yeah. And there you go. Right, it's the weight. I'm trying to make sure I'm making the right decision. When purchasing these things, and that it's at the right time and when I purchase it. So again, I love seeing money come in the account. I don't like it when it go out. So when I see it go out, it's not doing a lot of damage to the account when it do go out. So that's why I say, as far as for the timing. So we can definitely purchase that. I want to do a shocker hitch, which my guy that's going out, he got a shocker hitch as well. He's trying to sell it to me, but I'm waiting for him to kind of bring the price down, because I know shocker hitches right now. Like when I first got in the game 2024, there was $1,000. Now they $1,249. They went up. Why? Because many people are coming into the business. Many people are coming into the Hotshot game. They inflating, so the demand is high and the supply is low. So now they going up in the price on it. So it's now $1,249. Went up $250 for a shocker hitch. So he's trying to sell it now for $750, and I was just like, I think I can get a little cheaper than that. I know you had this. It's got some wear to it. I know it's still good, but I wanted to go down a little bit more. Get that, So yeah, man. But that was a good call out, man. Definitely, an auxiliary tank is definitely going to help you, as you can fill up in, like I said, like Alabama. I know Alabama cheap. Certain places in North Carolina is cheap as well. Mississippi is cheap. These cheap, southern states, especially when you start.
The South is cheap.
Yeah, so I saw somebody commented the other day on one of my posts, and they was like, "Man, I wish I could get fuel for $2.89," because I forgot where they were at. They were saying same thing you said. They were like paying like $6.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I was like, that's crazy. So definitely auxiliary tank, and I would say a shocker hitch to help you with the absorption, because you're going over some, and you got some potholes out there.
Oh yeah, maybe you ever been to Indiana I-70?
I have.
Oh my God,
Indiana, man! I driven all the way up through Indiana too, not just the border. I went all the way through it. Yep, I went all the way up to. I went not all the way up in Michigan, but I went. I actually dropped off in Indiana and then went to Michigan after that. And yeah, Michigan was horrible too, man. Them roads was terrible. Yeah, but nothing like Louisiana. I don't know if you ever been to Shreveport.
I don't know. I've not been to Shreveport, but I've been to Louisiana too. Yeah.
Shreveport is the worst. Shreveport is the worst. They got the most narrowest roads, and they got concrete barricades on both sides, and they extremely narrow roads. And all you doing is like
going up.
Yeah, man. It's like, man, you hitting
roller coaster.
Yeah, you just hitting it's like you almost tearing up your tires and tearing up your axles and everything, because all you doing is hitting. You hit, and you in this narrow road, and you trying to keep your steering wheel straight from hitting the barricades. And yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible over there. But Q, man, anything else you got, bro?
If you're leasing onto a company, I say don't do more than 25%. If any company is trying to have you is trying to take 30% out of your money, man, don't do it. Don't do it. 25 or less.
Wise words,
man. Yeah, but 30% no.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Q. Hey, man, where can they find you at? Where can
Hotshot Livescu on Hotshot? I mean, not Hotshot. Hotshot Livescu on Instagram. Livescu Hotshot on YouTube. What else? I think that's about it, man. TikTok, the same name. But yeah, I appreciate you though for having me, man.
Man, we got to do it again, man. We're definitely gonna do it
Oh,
again. Also, man, probably bring the wife on, man. See if she got anything, man. She can definitely bring on to the channel as well, man, with her knowledge that she has
definitely.
as well, man. So yeah, man. Let's do it possibly, in the next, month or 2 months, whatever like that, man. Let's do it again. I
Yes,
know
sir.
we did it late this time, but let's do it.
I know,
We'll do it.
man. My phone. I was having issues with my phone, man. Yeah, but
Yeah, and
I
that's what I was saying earlier. I
appreciate
was like, man, I know it's nothing with him. I know it's either some issue, some type of issue that he had going on. But
yeah.
I know eventually, we'll be able to get it together. So yeah, man. But yeah, man, we'll do it again, guys. Man, if you got, let's do it like this, man. If you guys want to see this again, if you guys want to see us live again, man, me, Hotshot Q. Or I call him Q. But Levis Q. But if you guys want to see us here again, man, put it in the comment section, man. You can go to his channel, you can go to, or you can just do it on the live stream here, man. Just tell us. I would say put uh again, do go live. If y'all guys type in go live again, man, let's get at least how many of you would say? How many people need to say go live for us to do it again, Q?
I don't know, man. What do you think?
Let's do what's today? It's the 28th right now.
28.
Let's say
Yeah.
28 people. 28 people put go live. We'll do this again. Let's say Q, let's do November.
Let's do it.
Do it a good month? Yeah. So
Okay.
if we can get 28 people by in 2 weeks, I'll give y'all 2 weeks. That should be doable, man. 28 people in 2 weeks, we'll go live in November. Sometime in November, we'll go live and we'll do it at an earlier time. Even though, man, I ain't even expect this many people to be here at 3.
I wasn't expecting
I
that.
didn't
a
expect
lot
that.
of
So
people,
that
a
let
lot
me
of
know
people
if y'all
sleep
don't go to
right now.
sleep. Yeah, they don't go to sleep. Y'all either at work or
Let's
y'all
go, man.
I don't know what's going on, but I ain't expect nobody to be here. To be honest, I thought I would be the one asking you all the questions, but nah, man. 28 people within 2 weeks, and we'll go live again, man, in November, man. Again,
Yes, sir.
shout out to my guy, man. I appreciate you coming on, brother, and giving and like I said, you taught me things about Lee Stone that I didn't know. So
You did too,
definitely
man. Never
for your
worked the
knowledge.
load. Yeah.
And we got to, and
You
we're
did
gonna talk more about
a
that. We're gonna
lot.
talk more about booking the load next time. So
Yes, sir.
make sure you put that down. Yeah, I'm gonna teach y'all like as far as booking the load. So yeah, 28 days, 2 weeks, 28 people. Basically comment, go live in the comment section. Me and Q will go live in November, and yeah, man, I appreciate my guy for coming on,
Yes,
and
sir.
man, until the next
Man.
time, guys. I'll go ahead and get to editing this video, show y'all guys about $40 a mile, and show y'all what we're doing throughout the week. And I continue to try to consistently give y'all content, continue giving back to you guys, and yeah, man, y'all check out my guy channel and continue, subscribing, supporting, both of our channels. And man, we out, man.
Ask me on Instagram, man. Always here.
Let's go, man.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
go. All right.
All right, man.